Well, hello, everybody, and welcome back to Paleontologizing. It is wonderful to have all of you here today. And, Claire Burr, thank you for that raid. Appreciate it. How are you doing, Claire? How was your stream? I hope it was good. Yeah. Welcome, everybody. Back to Paleontologizing. We're gonna have a fun stream today. If it's anybody's very first time, whether you're watching live on Twitch right now, or whether you're watching sometime in the future, in a VOD or on YouTube, welcome to Paleontologizing, and please allow me to introduce myself. My name is Danny Anduza. I'm a dinosaur paleontologist. So as a paleontologist, I study fossils, dinosaur fossils in particular, hence dinosaur paleontologist. Most paleontologists don't actually work on dinosaurs, and I want to make that very clear. Don't want to be a dinosaur chauvinist here, at least not more than is necessary. But yeah, I dig up dinosaurs for various museums across the western United States. I study dinosaurs, I publish on them in the scientific literature, and 5 days a week, I talk about dinosaurs right here on twitch.tv/paleontologizing. So, welcome, and if any of you, old or new, young or advanced in age, amateur or professional, if any of you have any questions about fossils, about dinosaurs, about natural history, don't be shy with your questions. I'll do my very best to answer them for you, and shoot, if I don't know the answers off the top of my head, that sometimes makes for even better discussions, so don't be shy with those questions. It's the beauty of a live broadcast is that you can ask questions and I can answer them for you live, and we can have like an exchange like this. It's part of the beauty of Twitch. Anyway, let's see who is here in chat. I've already lost the top of chat, holy cow. But I saw Science Streams, I think was first. And I saw Claire, and I saw Jody Fish up at the top too. Hello, all of you. I hope you're really doing well today. Happy Tuesday to you. By the way, today is Tuesday, February 7th, 2023. Just feel like it's a good idea to say that out loud. I don't know. These VODs will be going up later on YouTube, as long as not too much of it gets copyright struck by YouTube, whatever. You know how these things go. Kodali 2010, how are you doing? Welcome. Great to see you. Orchestran. Can I find my specs? Orchestran, I hope you find them soon. I hope you've already found them. Welcome, Orchestran. Golganek, how are you doing? Welcome. Great to see you. I hope all is well. It's a lot of bird emotes there.
500 bits goes a long way towards supporting science. Our tweet here on Twitch.
It does indeed go a long way. Thank you, Mudman1965. Really appreciate that. Holy cow. Mudman, thank you for your generosity. Again, I do this full time, so this is actually how I make my living, and you're contributing to that. Thank you, Mudman. Thank you for your support. I really appreciate it. And welcome back, Mudman. Yeah. Sassy Catastrophe, how are you doing? Welcome to you. I hope all is well. Let's see. Heptacular Raptor is back. How you doing, Heptacular Raptor? It's great to see you here. And Ali J, I'm sorry the music was quiet there. How is it right now? Is it okay? It's really strange that it would be quiet during that one scene, but not this scene, given that it uses the same audio source and it's at the same level. Yeah. Travel the World is here. How are you doing, Travel? Welcome. I hope all is well with you. It's good to see you. Yeah. Blinkster 2. Howdy. Here we go, boys. Indeed, Blinkster. Welcome back. Victorious, birds are ukulele? I'll take it as a metaphor, Victorious. Very nice. Not the brain. Hello to you too. Welcome. Check Morticia. I'm glad you appreciate the music, Morticia. It's great to have you here. And glasses located. Good, Orchestra. That's the thing. How can you find your glasses if you can't see without them? You know? We should call that the Velma quandary. XF Kirsten, how are you doing? Welcome. The best kind of true, technically true. There you go, XF Kirsten. Yes, indeed. Who else have we got? Aditya Yokar, how are you doing, Aditya? Welcome, welcome. Have I heard of a book called The Big Questions, Evolution by Francisco Ayala? I have not. No. Huh. Yeah. Is it good, Aditya? Have you read it? T-Matt Tricks, how are you doing? Welcome, welcome. Crikey, indeed. Gita Aloha, how are you doing, Gita Aloha? It's great to see you. Hope all's well. Thank you for being here. Yeah. Alright, cruising down, and holy cow, what is this? Brace yourselves for impact. Oh. News per fish.
Nisperfish83 just changed things with those 5 gift subs.
Thank you for those 5 gift subs. I really appreciate that. News per fish, thank you very, very much. How are you doing, by the way? It's good to have you here. Yeah. News per fish, thanks to you, 5 more people will now not have to watch the ads for the next 30 days. So I'm sure they appreciate your generosity, and I do too. Look, we are now at 5 out of 40 new subs. That is 1/8, which is 12.5%. I can do math in my head sometimes. Thank you, Newsper. I really appreciate that. Getting us closer to our sub goal for the day, and supporting science outreach here on Twitch, helping me make a living. I appreciate you, Newsperfish. I really do. Thank you, thank you. Origin TT, Tradoon to you too. Welcome, welcome. Arle was here also earlier. Arle, I saw you. The top of my chat's already gone, but welcome, Arle. I hope you're having a good day so far. It's good to have you here. Yeah. XF Kirsten, did I say hello to you yet? Welcome, welcome, XF Kirsten. Texas Cryptid, howdy, howdy. Ironheart 50, what's shaking, Ironheart? Great to have you here. Yeah. Alright. Scrolling down. Trying to get down to the bottom. Gertis Pucka, did I say hello to you yet? Welcome, welcome, Gertis Pucka. And let's see. Tactile 3D Picture, how are you doing? Welcome, welcome. It's good to have you here. Mommy Does, what's shaking? I hope you're doing well, Mommy Does. It's good to see you as it always is. Welcome back. And Roses and Tea. Cassowaries are war. Let's hope not, Roses and Tea. Let's hope that cassowaries are peace. That reminds me of one of the first games that I ever saw Ios play on her channel. It might have been one of the first games that she ever played on stream. It might be the first one she ever did. But it was called Baba Is You. Is anybody familiar with this game? But yeah, your phrase right there, cassowary are war, reminded me of that. And anyway, I appreciate you. I really do, Roses and Tea. It's good to have you here. Who else do we have? I feel like I skipped somebody. Runelore, how are you doing? Welcome, welcome. I'm doing well. I hope you are too. It's great to see you. FMSSK, what's shaking with you? Glad you could make it. It's good to see you. Yeah. And Moonrise Rabbit says, my feet are cold, but I'm here. I don't know if I can do anything about that, Moonrise Rabbit, but I'm glad you're here. Thank you for suffering through and being here, Moonrise Rabbit. I appreciate you. That's the good thing about being a mammal. Like, for instance, a moonrise rabbit, is that when your extremities are cold, you don't have to go bask on a hot rock or stand in the sun to warm yourself up. Yeah, you can just kind of bring those extremities in toward your core, warm them up that way. Crystal Misono. Yeah, that's an O. Crystal Misono says you just feel around for him. If you lose your glasses, there you go. Then you go, oh, jinkies, I lost my glasses. You know, we've all seen Scooby-Doo. Roland Elliart, how are you doing? Welcome, welcome. It's good to have you here. Yeah. Your maths knowledge is 5 more than 1, lol? Orchestran? Yes. Are you asking a question? Is 5 more than 1? I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah. I think 5 is actually equivalent to 5 different ones. Trying to remember. Back to my math classes, yeah. That reminds me, ages ago, I remember my crew chief, Denver Fowler, telling me something that he had read about some group of people in the, I want to say it was in the Amazon? The Amazon rainforest, and in their culture, they didn't have a super well-developed, like, numeric system. So their numbers went 1, 2, 3, many. And I don't know if it's true or not. It sounds like it might not be true. It sounds like some sort of condescending thing that people in a quote-unquote developed society would say about people who live, you know, in the rainforest. But I don't know. It became kind of a running joke throughout the field season. 1, 2, 3, many. Yeah. Anyway, I can generally count higher than 3. It's kind of a necessary skill when you're a scientist, I'll be honest. Who else we got? Dr. Javasaurus, welcome. Great to see you. Hope all is well. Lenina says, I love Baba Is You. Wow, Baba Is Love, Lenina? Great to have you here. Ios was playing that. It was one of the first games I ever saw her play. Can we get a shout out for Ios real quick? She showed up in chat the other day. Yesterday. And, yeah. She honestly deserves 100 times as many viewers as she has when she streams. Yeah, I don't know. I'll never figure out why certain things are popular and why certain other things aren't, you know? Sometimes certain things are just too high quality to be popular, you know? I wonder what, there should be some sort of a name for that phenomenon. The something quandary. I don't know. Anyway. But yeah, Mommy Does says a hot rock on a cold day sounds nice. Agreed. So long as it's stationary. If it's moving too fast, I don't know. Then that's worrisome. Sun is what that is, lol. How you doing, Orchestran? Yeah. And Newsperfish says, do you know any dinosaur fossils found in Germany? Absolutely, Newsperfish. One of the most famous dinosaur fossils of all time was found in Bavaria. Bavaria. The Berlin specimen of Archaeopteryx right there is from Germany. Also, we've got dinosaurs like Plateosaurus, Compsognathus, Duravenator, I think, is from Germany. There's a number of different dinosaurs from Germany. Absolutely. Yeah. So yeah. Oh yeah. Tyrannosaurus, I think, is from Germany. There's a bunch. Lilian Sternus might also be from Germany. I'd have to look into that. But, yeah. And you'd fit right in with that culture. There you go, Orchestran. 1, 2, 3, many, plus Orchestran. Thank you, Mayor Space, for that shout-out for Ios. And how are you doing, Mayor Space? Welcome. I hope your mayoral duties have been going smoothly. I hope all the public comment meetings haven't been too obnoxious. Or they might be pretty quiet, because in space, we all know the tagline. In space, no one can hear you scream. And no one can hear you throw a fit about, well, maybe not a school board meeting, but about how you don't want a roundabout installed at the corner of 3rd Street and Main. Anyway, yeah. Smorphosaurus has got to spread all the love and support one another. Agreed, Smorphosaurus. Welcome. It's good to have you here. And Claire Burr, how are you doing? Claire Burr, we are looking to expand several-fold at least. Claire Burr. It is actually one of my stated goals for 2023. To, well, let me show you. I've got it in writing. Is it goals? Do I search goals? Yeah. Nope. Nope, that's not it. There we go. Yeah. Paleontologizing resolutions 2023. Exceed 300 average concurrent viewers. We're on our way. And Ali J.
Gifted a tier 1 sub to Fall Machine 1790.
Thank you, Ali J.
84 gift subs in the
I really
channel.
appreciate that. Holy cow, Ali J. Fall Machine, enjoy that gift sub from Ali J. Ali J, thank you for your generosity. I appreciate that. Look, we're at 6 out of 40 now. That's excellent. Appreciate you, Ali J. Thank you for being, honestly, a super valued member of this community. I really appreciate you, Ali J. Thank you. But yeah. And Czech Morticia, any famous fossils in the Czech Republic? That's a great question, Morticia. I can't think of any off the top of my head, but I bet you there's a couple. Yeah. News Proficient says, I'm in Bavaria and had no clue. Well, we'll take a look at Archaeopteryx in a second if you'd like. Yeah. Yeah, not in my back galaxy, says Well Machine. There you go. Oh no. Yeah. A Nimbuga. And Layer T says, over 1 million people are currently watching a video game about a magic school bus. Really, Layer T? There's a magic school bus game? I hope they go back to the time of the dinosaurs. Because, yeah, here we go. Yeah, the magic school bus in the time of the dinosaurs. That sauropod has got too many manual unguals. They've only got one in the front. It's just their thumb claw. The rest of the fingers don't have claws on them, so that's wrong. It's been ages since I've seen this, and holy cow, there's a whole video? Anyway. Why I clicked that. Anyway, yeah. Like, I guess that's to avoid copyright. I just put that in the middle, but yeah. And Bueranosaurus is in the Czech Republic. You're right, aren't you, Jody Fish? Yeah. But named after Zdeněk Burian, famous Czech artist. It's a good point, Jody Fish. Yeah. Thank you, Claire Burr, for a list of European dinosaurs. We'll maybe take a look at some German dinosaurs in a second. And then some Czech dinosaurs, too. And, Tuesday's almost Thursday, so it's almost a bird date? I don't know, Dr. Javasaurus. As the saying goes, it's Thursday somewhere. And that somewhere might happen to be the future. So yeah, you know, we always talk about birds here. You know? Yeah. And thank you, Jody Fish, Bueranosaurus. Let's cover that. Yeah. And you're playing the Magic School Bus game. It is addicting. There are cats. I hope they're not letting the cats drive the bus. Oh, and cool, Dr. Terra. Thank you. Here, let's click some of these. Very cool. Very nice. More in part 2. Appreciate you, Dr. Terra. Thank you. We're a little light on... I was a little light on fossil news today, so I appreciate your input there, Dr. Terra. Yeah. And there's dinosaur, maybe a nest found in Missouri. You're right, Skoke. I don't know if it was a nest, but we... Wait, shoot. Is it Missouri or is it North Carolina that I'm thinking of? There was a dinosaur described by Jack Horner. I think it was Horner and Baird? Maybe Baird and Horner? Who described this dinosaur? I don't remember if it was North Carolina or Missouri. But, yeah. Anyway, Messel horse fossil. Tactile? Let's see. Oh, Fox Hills Formation. We used to have a song about that, Dr. Terra, in the field. We'll talk about this. And Blinkster says, how good was dinosaur vision and did it deteriorate? Well, Blinkster, that is a really good question. We're going to have to call forth our old friend, the EPB, to answer that. Then we'll get into Burionosaurus. Thank you, Jodyfish. This, ladies and gentlemen, is what we call the EPB. And that stands for, let me annotate this. There we go. Give me a different color. There we go. That stands for the. Oop. I guess it's reset. Okay. The extant phylogenetic bracket, or EPB for short. Basically, this is just... There's two groups today that are still around that bracket dinosaurs. Dinosaurs, except for birds, are extinct. But we have birds, who themselves are living dinosaurs. And we have the kind of distant cousins of dinosaurs, crocodiles, who are still around. And so if there's something that we don't know about dinosaurs, then we can check what we know about birds and what we know about crocodiles. And since dinosaurs share a common ancestor with both crocodiles and birds are living dinosaurs, then these guys provide really good clues as to what dinosaurs may have had or not had. So both crocodiles and birds have full color vision. They can actually see more colors than we can as humans. Mammal color vision is generally pretty poor. It's sort of re-evolved in primates. A lot of mammals can't see in color hardly at all. Their color vision is just dog water. But, like dogs, you probably know, are colorblind. So are cats. Most mammals are like that. But primates re-evolved color vision at some point. But we still can't see all the colors that exist. And I know that's kind of a mind-blowing thing to say, but, you know, but it's true. Yeah. We are missing out on part of the color spectrum. We can't see into ultraviolet in the same way that the other critters, like birds and crocodiles, can. So anyway, I think both birds and crocodilians both generally have pretty good vision, especially birds. And I don't know if that vision deteriorates over time in the same way that it does for mammals. I think we've got kind of a different setup. I know that bird's sense of hearing can heal and kind of mend itself a lot better than mammal hearing can. Because we kind of have more moving parts. And those tend to wear out. The malleus and the incus and the stapes in our ears wear out over time. That's why so many older people are hard of hearing. Birds don't have that problem because their hearing comes from like tiny little, almost like microscopic hairs. Little filaments inside a fluid-filled chamber, if I remember correctly. And those can heal really easily. So birds, honestly, have got a much better system than we have there. I want to say that there's something more resilient about bird eyesight as well, but I can't remember off the top of my head. Other people in chat might know better than I would. But yeah. So anyway, yeah, and we do know that dinosaurs would have been very visual animals. Because we know that they had really keen eyesight. We can look at their brain endocasts and figure out that they had pretty decent vision from that. And we can also look at all these crazy display features that different dinosaurs evolved that are evidence of them just being very, like, vision-oriented animals. If that makes sense. So yeah. Anyway, great question there. And, I appreciate you for it. Who was it who asked that? Oh, I missed. Shoot. And how are those push-ups going, though? I'm not doing 100 every morning yet. I'm still at 40. But I'll work my way back up there. I used to do 200 every day. So we'll get there. Yeah. Anyway. Used to play the Magic School Bus games all the time as a kid. Nice, Smorphosaurus. Yeah. Alright, scrolling down. Dinosaur glasses would be awesome. I agree. Smorphosaurus. If I ever needed glasses, I'd get dinosaur glasses. I'd 3D print my own frames.
Surely one of the most remarkable animals that had ever existed
is Panda Kaizen.
One of the most famous
Is Panda Kaizen.
is a dinosaur.
Okay, that too. Thank you, Panda Kaizen, for the 3 months of support. Really appreciate you, Panda Kaizen. Thank you for keeping me online for the past 3 months. It means a lot. Appreciate you. Yeah. Good stuff. Yeah. But yeah. And ultraviolets, infrareds, and I think yellows are what we miss, says Jody Fish. Yeah, birds and other critters that are not mammals can see at least partway into the ultraviolet spectrum. I think infrareds, I think that's the domain of insects. I think they're the ones well known for being able to see into the infrared spectrum. And you're welcome, Blinkster. I appreciate your questions. Absolutely. Yeah. And Mayor Space says some women have tetrachromacy because they inherited a 4th mutated cone from their colorblind father. Really? So they can discern more shades of color than the rest of us. Not the same as seeing an ultraviolet, but still cool. That is cool, Mayor Space. I read somewhere, I don't know whether it's actually true or not, that a disproportionate number of interior designers can actually see more shades of colors than your average person. Which would kind of make sense. It's like if you have that ability to be able to discern different colors like that, you know, that can develop into certain skill sets that might end up with you becoming an interior designer or an artist or something like that. So yeah. And mantis shrimp eyes are nuts. Yeah, Darian Beagle.
If extinction didn't occur, successful group would dominate and it would last forever.
That's true, Creatrix Brit. Thank you so much for the 10 months of support, Brit. I really appreciate that. How are you doing, by the way? Great to see you. Welcome. I really appreciate your support, Brit. Thank you. 10 months is a long time. Thanks for keeping me here online and allowing me to do what I do through your support. And speaking of Creatrix Brit, who does a lot of 3D printing on her channel, go follow her if you've not yet done so. Let's check on our 3D print here. We're printing the snout of a pachycephalosaur, a dome-headed dinosaur. I actually have the dome right here that we were printing yesterday. That is now finished. But, paper cuts. Look at all those chickens. Like I said, thank you, Paper Cuts, for the 5 months of support. Really appreciate that. Excellent stuff. Thank you, Paper Cuts. Appreciate you. Yeah. So, yeah. What are we learning about today? Whatever we want to, Creatrix Brit. We might go over this new duckbill dinosaur that's so new that it hasn't even officially been published yet. And Golganek, thank you for those 198 bits. It's a very specific number. Is that your whole... Is that the entirety of your bits purse that you've emptied out there, Golganek? Thank you for the support. I appreciate you. And holy cow, we've got a hype train going here. On our way to a level 1? Well, you know how it works. If we manage to get to a level 5, I'll play some ukulele songs live on stream. So, yeah. And you like duck-billed dinosaurs? Yeah, Smorphosaurus. It's... I want to make sure you have an appropriate level of hype. Thank you, Safarix, for the 102 bits. For a total of 300 bits there. Between Golganek and Safarix. Appreciate you, Safarix. Thank you, thank you. That's good stuff. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, this new, what's it called? Meliafica or something like that? I think it might be another Prido Marquez hadrosaur taxon. We'll take a look at it. But it's from, I want to say, New Mexico or Texas. We'll check it out. But we're on our own Magic School Bus learning voyage. We are indeed XF Kirsten, and we're going to continue that right here. With a dinosaur deep dive requested by Jody Fish for Check Marticia. Check Marticia, are you still here? I know sometimes you have to leave before too long because it is late where you are. But we're going to go over Burrionosaurus. An ornithischian dinosaur from the Czech Republic.
And gratitude. Thank you very much for the 100 bits.
And thank you so much, Travel the World. Thank you for those 100 bits. Appreciate that, Travel. Thank you, thank you. Excellent stuff, Travel. Appreciate you. Beautiful. And you are still here? Oh, check Morticia. Thank you to Jody Fish for their generosity. Morticia, let's check out this dinosaur from the Czech Republic. Burrionosaurus is an extinct genus of ornithopod dinosaur. Ornithopods are the beaky plant eaters. That includes the spike-thumbed iguanodon and the duck-billed hadrosaurs and all kinds of critters like that.
And gratitude. Thank you very much for the 100 bits.
Thank you for those 100 bits, Check Morticia. I really appreciate you. Thank you, thank you. Yeah. How do you say this name, by the way, Morticia? Dienek Burian? Dienek Michael František Burian. Famous paleo artist. Born in Prague. Oh, no, hang on. No, he's born in Austria-Hungary. He died in Prague in 1981. He was a Czech painter, book illustrator, and paleo artist whose work played a central role in the development of paleontological reconstruction. Burian's artwork yeah. Burian's artwork includes some of the most iconic pieces of paleo art ever made. This Brachiosaurus one right here is something that I remember vividly from my childhood. Brachiosaurus lived on land. This scene is actually impossible. There's a number of reasons why this could not happen. The water pressure alone at that depth would not be good. And these dinosaurs would have floated too. They couldn't sink like that. But anyway, Burian's artwork extremely influential, and many of you have seen some of his work before. Just really, really incredible stuff. Very much out of date, but this was cutting edge stuff back in say the 1960s, 1950s and 60s. Yeah. I mean, look at that. Look at that right there. What I really love about Burian's art is there's a kind of dreamlike quality to it. You know? Yeah. And Czech Morticia says the S in František is pronounced as an SH. František. František. Okay. No idea how to write the pronunciation of Dienek. Okay. It's pronounced something like Zdeněk. Zdeněk. Zdeněk Burian. Okay. Anyway, cool. And thank you, Pre-K. I appreciate you. Thank you, Pre-K, for adhering to our... I know it's difficult to adhere to a family-friendly kind of milieu when you've got a name like that, but I appreciate you, Pre-K. And welcome back. It's good to see you. Yeah. And for how slow we thought dinosaurs were back then, there's a sense of movement in his artwork. I'm loving it. Yep, pretty cool, right, Moonrise Rabbit? Absolutely. So here's a Tyrannosaur, presumably Tyrannosaurus. And I think this is maybe supposed to be Scolosaurus? An ankylosaur from Canada? Anyway, there's just this lovely kind of... I don't know. There really is like a dreamlike quality to his work. And, yeah, tremendously influential on the world of paleo art. Very cool stuff. And let's take a look at the dinosaur that's named in Burian's honor. Named after Zdeněk. Yeah. The accent variant over the E makes the N sound like the Zdeněk. Okay, Zdeněk. This is an ornithopod, probably a... Oh, shoot. We don't actually know what it is. It might be an iguanodont, but there is the femur right there. Presumably it's somewhere... I bet you it's in Prague. Let me check on something right quick. I'll be right back. Oof. All right. So yeah. And Elera, how are you doing? Says, oh, nice to hear my language here. Welcome, Elera. I don't speak any languages apart from English and some Spanish. So, lo siento. Sorry, I don't speak Czech, but I do my best, you know, and I appreciate you being patient with me. Yeah. And the femur is on exhibit in Prague. So if you're ever in Prague, go check out this femur there. It is on public display. The femur of Burianosaurus, which might be... I guess Dinosaurs of Europe is our Mesozoic Dinosaurs of Europe. Cretaceous Dinosaurs of Europe. Early Cretaceous Dinosaurs of Europe. Got a good number. We've got some dinosaurs from Germany too, like we were talking about. Let me find one of those as well for Nusperfish. Let's see here. Archaeopteryx. Archaeopteryx. Bavaria. Let's go ahead and... Oh, I know we watched this before, but it's pretty short. We'll take a look at it here. Yeah.
Archaeopteryx was certainly no acrobat, but it had feathers, and it could fly.
Yeah.
Its collarbones had already fused together, a vital step enabling the wings to flap efficiently.
Yep, that's called a furcula.
Allowing it to hunt and nest in trees.
We now recognize that the furcula, the wishbone, did not first evolve in birds. It first evolved in their theropod dinosaur ancestors. So of course Archaeopteryx had a furcula, a wishbone. All theropod dinosaurs did, as far as I know. So yeah. Oh, and very cool, Jodyfish. Professor studied Grossa.
Throughout the 20th and 21st
Very cool.
centuries, more Archaeopteryx fossils were unearthed in Germany.
Yeah. Let me grab my Archaeopteryx specimen.
Intriguing, since modern birds no longer show this characteristic. Is this an exception? What is sure is that this feature has not been selected by evolution. Just like this giant marine reptile, a Leopleurodon. Washed up on the shores of the lagoon, it is a godsend for Archaeopteryx.
Very nice.
Flies attracted by the carcass provide a hearty meal for this insect eater. Being out in the open is dangerous. For
Uh-oh.
An opportunistic Germanodactylus sees the
Germanodactylus, again from Germany. Not a dinosaur, but a pterosaur, a flying reptile. So Germanodactylus, not a dinosaur. Little Archaeopteryx is a dinosaur.
but competition.
That's loud. Turn that down a little bit.
Once the mightiest creatures in the strands, pterosaurs became extinct by the end of the Cretaceous period, 65 million years ago.
More like 66, but yeah.
Archaeopteryx's descendants grew in number. Bogged down in the bottom of the Solnhofen Lagoon, this remarkable fossil launched the debate on the relationship between birds and dinosaurs.
Yeah. I wish we could get rid of these cards.
For
Anyway.
more than 100 years.
Anyway, maybe another quick video here about,
Seize the prospect.
nope, hang on. There we go. Let's jump to Archaeopteryx here. Let's see, where is that particular... Julia Clark is going to tell us about Archaeopteryx here, but first we gotta find that. There we go. There's old Chucky D. We'll be talking about him next week. Yeah.
Remarkable than airplane wings because they can flap, which allows them to maneuver rapidly and ultimately defy gravity.
Yeah.
The quest to understand the origin of birds and other animals began in earnest over 150 years ago.
I don't know what you mean, Safarix. What?
When Charles Darwin wrote The Origin of Species, he argued that
Yeah.
every major group of animals evolved.
Oh, are you making a
from
feathers joke, Safarix?
He predicted that we would find fossils with features that linked one major group to another.
Yep.
In fact, he staked his theory of evolution on the existence of these intermediates. But no fossils were yet known that reveal these transitions.
Ooh, until in Germany.
Just 2 years later, a marvelous creature was unearthed from a limestone quarry in Germany.
Archaeopteryx.
A 50-million-year-old fossil named Archaeopteryx rocked the scientific world.
Oh, yes, indeed. Yeah.
Archaeopteryx fossil is truly remarkable. It preserves in fine detail feathers along the wing, just like those we see in living birds, and feathers along the tail. But the bony features tell a very different story.
Yep.
If we look closely,
Teeth.
we'll see teeth in the jaw,
Mm-hmm.
tiny claws preserved in the hand,
Yep.
and a long bony tail, lacking in living birds, but present in things we think of as traditionally reptilian.
Yeah.
For Darwin, it must
And Mayor Space is my Archaeopteryx, your Archaeopteryx, our Archaeopteryx, Archaeopteryx. Sorry, I ruined it. But yeah, there you go, Mayor Space. It is. And thank you, Crewberry, for the follow. Welcome to Paleontologizing. Good to have you here. But this really is like a world historic important specimen here. It, holy cow, extremely important. The Berlin specimen of Archaeopteryx. We've got something like a dozen of these specimens nowadays. Different specimens of Archaeopteryx. This is by far the most beautiful. Really extraordinary. And it comes, of course, from Bavaria, in Germany. So yeah. Very cool stuff. You see those beautiful wings right there. Just positively angelic. Really, really exquisite. I'm gonna put this away. And, but yeah, here.
long bony tail, lacking in living birds, but present in things we think of as traditionally reptilian. For Darwin, it must have been an incredible vindication.
Yeah, it was.
He predicted that we would find forms like these. Archaeopteryx pointed to a close link between birds and reptiles.
Mm-hmm.
But which group of reptiles?
Ooh. We will talk about that later. It's not pterosaurs, nope. But yeah, we'll be talking, I think, probably a little bit more about this on, there we go. On the 10th, I believe. There we go. Yeah. On February 10th. Happy Darwin Day. Yep. That's when Chucky D was born, on the 12th, actually, but I don't stream on the 12th. So we're doing it on the 10th instead, because on the 14th, you know, we're going to be doing a Valentine's Day stream. Talking about dinosaur reproduction. That'll be fun. So yeah. Anyway, take a look at that calendar for upcoming streams. Tomorrow we're going to be talking about Gertie the dinosaur, which is it's going to be pretty exciting. So yeah. By the way, let's see. I should go ahead and make that bold. And thank you, Mitch Biocannon, for the follow. Welcome to Paleontologizing. It is great to have you here. Welcome, welcome. In fact, let's take all of these, and then let's change our vertical alignment there to centered. Beautiful. Very nice. Anyway, yeah. But yeah, my missus was born on Darwin Day. That explains so much. Really, Dr. Javasaurus, yeah. You know who else was born? Not just the same day, but the same day and the same year. Was another great liberator, I suppose you could say. Old Abe Lincoln was also born February 12th, 1809. So yeah. Yeah. Anyway, carnivore recording, arm waving. We might talk about that a bit. Jody Fish, yeah. Yeah. And Cephalon Wolf says, this might be a dumb question. I'm sure it's not. Not from you, Cephalon Wolf. Does the fossil record indicate favorite nesting sites of dinosaurs? Does it vary species to species? Oh, yeah. Yeah, let's talk about that a little bit. And Dareal HBIC, how are you doing? Welcome, welcome. Good to have you here. Thanks for joining us. Yeah. Abe Lincoln. There you go. Give them now. Yes. And Darien Beagle. That's interesting. Haven't read that book. But yeah, you know, let's get rid of some of these tabs. Ow. And, let's see. We've got a clip in an old PBS documentary. It probably is... Oh, and that's interesting. We will check that out. Hang on. Yeah. PBS Eons apparently has a video on dinosaur courtship and stuff like that. But that's gotta be... It's gotta be in here. Yeah, there we are.
This is the skull of the individual that is about 3 weeks old.
Talking about Maiasaura. We're going to be talking all about Maiasaura, by the way, on the 22nd, because that will be the, good no, 1985 plus 6, that's 30. The 36th, 37th anniversary of Maiasaura being the official state fossil of Montana. But yeah, anyway, talking about dinosaur nesting sites and that kind of thing, take a look at this.
Beyond a reasonable doubt, the dinosaurs cared for their young.
Yeah.
They nested. Putting all his research together, Horner creates a picture of life in a dinosaur nursery.
Ooh. And I check the P.O. box about once every week or two, give them now. I'll be checking it tomorrow morning, for instance. Yeah.
We can get some really interesting clues about the behavior of dinosaurs when we look at some of the evidence from the nesting grounds. They really couldn't do much moving. They certainly couldn't get up and run around. It's possible that they could stand and walk a little bit, probably very wobbly, but very suggestive that they could not leave the nest and get their own food. And so all of this information together leads to the conclusion that the mother dinosaur or a parent dinosaur brought food to the young.
Yep. Very cool.
And all this evidence of caretaking and nesting led Horner to name these dinosaurs myosaurs, good mother lizards.
I love the animations here. They're really fun. These are nice. Did the mothers turn the eggs? I'm not sure, Darian Beagle. I don't know about Myosaura. We think Oviraptorosaurs did turn the eggs? I don't know about Myosaura, though. Good question.
This social behavior of dinosaurs, caring for their young, nesting in close proximity to each other, suggests the behavior of other social animals such as
Pelicans. Yeah. And other birds.
Who has noticed some striking behavioral similarities between the two, has come to Bowdoin National Wildlife Refuge in
Yeah, I've been there.
Refuge manager Gene Sipe to learn more. Both birds and dinosaurs made nests to protect and incubate the delicate eggs. Further study of the nesting habits of these animals has led to some interesting insights.
Yes, indeed. We'll talk about those in a second. Cephalon Wolf says that imagine nesting grounds or prime hunting areas for the bigger carnivores. Maybe more so for the smaller carnivores, because they may have been able to kind of dart in and out and grab little babies and stuff like that and then just speed away. Critters like Troodon, we think, were probably preying on baby Myosaura. The big carnivores, like, I don't know, if you're a big theropod dinosaur and you show up on the doorstep of a nesting ground like that, all of those mother and possibly father dinosaurs would have been pretty upset at you. They probably would have chased you off pretty fast, you know? So, yeah. Yeah. Boats are real. Mayor Space, once again, speaking truth to power there. Boats are real, Mayor Space.
Horner has
What?
evidence which shows that the dinosaurs used the same nesting sites year after year.
Yeah! This is what we call nest fidelity. So we have evidence that these critters were returning to the same sites every single year, which is pretty cool to think about. You know, we see the same thing in birds, which is pretty neat. Yeah.
These finds call to mind pictures of a surprisingly social animal, a
Yeah.
reptile that lived and traveled in organized groups.
When we find the eggs, these dinosaurs would actually push their eggs down into sediment, and we can tell that there was at least a bowl-shaped depression that they were in, but we can't tell whether there was a mound.
Yeah.
The eggs just hatched in from the sun,
Well,
and
we think they may have covered the eggs with vegetation, so that you know the rotting of the vegetation would have
provided the heat.
For incubation, and then apparently the babies would just sort of pop the top off the egg after the vegetation was removed, and they climb out.
Horner believes that
Oh, those baby
hatchlings
pelicans.
stayed in groups within the colony, just as some ground nesting birds do today,
Yep.
fed and protected by the parent animal.
Very cool.
So it appears that these dinosaurs probably lived in little pods or groups, the babies, and were probably cared for by a few adults.
And it appears
Very
that the
cool.
adults would
Yeah.
also defend them. Species of hadrosaurs probably could have made sounds to threaten predators or alert their young. And they even have banded together to repel threats from meat-eating theropods.
Like Troodon! Uh-oh, look at those Troodon. Boom! Wow, the one went flying.
In the late Cretaceous period, as far as we can tell, is at that point where we have their greatest diversity.
Yeah.
There's also a time when we have, when we at least see dinosaurs living in large nesting colonies, feeding their young, at least some of them. We also have good evidence that they were
bodied. There you go, Nell. Yeah.
One another. And
Poor Troodon.
after nesting, we have very good evidence that they traveled in gigantic herds, or flocks, if you want to call them that.
Yeah. Anyway, cool stuff. We'll be talking lots more about Maiasaura again on February 22nd. We've got a special Maiasaura stream planned, so don't miss that. It's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah. And Mayor Space, I agree. Airboats are really cool too. Not only are they good at navigating swamps, they're neat all the way around. Yeah. They're one step below hovercraft in terms of their coolness, in my opinion. Hovercraft, I think, are super cool too. Can an airboat outrun the Flash? Yes, because the Flash isn't real. I'm sorry, Nell. How long ago was this animated? Shoot, when did that come out? Let's see. Let's look it up. On IMDb. PBS The Dinosaurs. Oh boy. PBS Dinosaurs, The Monsters Emerge, maybe? It says here 1992. Yeah. So ahead of the game, before Jurassic Park, before the big dinosaur boom of the 1990s. 1993 with Jurassic Park. 1992 is when this came out. Very nice. Yeah. And who are the stars? Bob Barker, Peter Dobson. That probably should be Peter Dodson. Dodson. Got Dodson here. Peter Dodson, paleontologist. Yeah. Anyway, good stuff. See, nobody cares. Lilith knows what's up. Yeah, and you're right, Claire. Early 90s. Yep. And this is true. Airboats do have a higher chance of not being full of eels, especially like hovercrafts in which you would have a Hungarian phrase book. They tend to be full of ears now. Eels. True that. Oh. And the new original, I agree. How you doing, new original? Welcome. New original says wonderful things happen when artists and scientists combine their efforts. Absolutely. Yeah. Cephalon Wolf says, what's the remotest dig that you've ever been on? Ooh, boy. Probably when I was out working on the American Prairie Reserve. Here, I can, Google Earth. I can show you this. There we go. Here is our great planet Earth right there. Easily one of the top 3 planets in our solar system. Here is the great state of Montana. I used to live here in Bozeman, right there. But in 2015 and 2016, I, along with Denver Fowler and A number of other paleontologists went all the way up here to the American Prairie Reserve. And in order to get there, we would drive south of, what was it, Malta, Montana? Along the Highway 2, I think? Is that even gonna be here? Maybe it was it Saco, or let's try Saco. Saco, Montana. Ooh, way over there. Holy cow. Yeah, tiny little town. I think this is the right one. Look how small this town is. That's it. That's it. And they must have taken these satellite photos during the rainy season, because holy cow. Is it, yeah, is it green here? And I'm pretty sure, was it Larb Creek Road that we would take? And we would take this down further and further and further. Like that. No, that doesn't look familiar. Now, hang on. I think we went this way. And Beaverton Road, that's not it. What was it? Anyway, we are way out in the middle of nowhere. We were basically 90 miles from the nearest town. And that town was no, was it Hinsdale? Or was it Saco? I don't even remember at this point. It was a long time ago. What's this road here? South Bench Road, that's not it. Anyway, we were way, way, way over here. Basically in an area like this with some badlands. But yeah, we must have been about here or so. Yeah, so like 90 miles from the nearest town, and the nearest town was super small. Like, shoot, what do they have in Saco, Montana? There's a tiny little fire department. I think that's their post office right there. Post office is here somewhere. Anyway, no hospital, no. They've got like a bar and grill, bar and restaurant, I guess. Really, really tiny. I think they've got a gas station that also kind of doubles as a grocery store, and that's really it. The rest of these are houses. So yeah, very remote area. And name the Bowie song. There you go, Hojo Cat. Yeah. That's a hospital airlift town. There you go, new original. Yes, indeed. Yeah. And only 2 Starbucks. What is the nearest Starbucks? To Saco, Montana. I bet you it's all the way over in Glasgow. Not Glasgow, Scotland. Glasgow, Montana. Which... Oh, hang on. Where is that? Nashua, Fort Peck, Hinsdale, Glasgow, Nashua, Macon, Wolf Point, Poplar, Brockton, Fort Kipp, Culbertson. I may have overlooked it. Anyway. Yeah, I think it's pretty far away. Anyway. Wonder if we can find a video of Saco, Montana. Yeah, here we go. Saco, Montana. This is what this part of the world looks like.
Next town east of Malta, called Saco.
Saco is actually how you pronounce it. Thank you very much. Not a whole lot there. Saco, Montana. Just flat prairie on either side.
Once again,
First fire, see I can see.
every other town in America, little town, it's seen better days.
Oh yeah. Oh boy. But the railroad actually comes through here. The Burlington Northern Santa Fe, BNSF, comes right through here. And that's the town. That is it. You can actually see the railroad tracks on this side over here. And Articulate Reptile. Thank you, Articulate Reptile, for the raid. How are you doing? Welcome, welcome. It is great to have you here. Yeah, howdy, howdy. I hope all is well. Articulate Reptile, how was your stream? Hope it was really good. Welcome, everybody. Yeah. Good stuff. Very, very flat. Big sky country. Agreed, Hojo Cat. This really is big sky country. Yeah. And, coming up on your left, nothing. There you go, Dr. Davasaurus. Yeah. Yeah. And the obligatory grain elevator. Yeah, we saw that. That's right there. The grain elevator. Yep, blink and you miss it. The highest structure in town. Yeah. And thank you, Travel the World.
104 gifted a tier 1 sub to the Articulate Reptile.
Thank you, Travel the World. Really appreciate that. Look, we're at 7 out of 40 now. Thank you, Travel. Really appreciate you. Good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah. And, Unathathobius is kind of rude of them. Couldn't dinosaurs die somewhere easier to access? Jeez. That, again, we just talked about my crew chief, Denver Fowler. He had a phrase that he would repeat all the time in the field. We'd be out there, you know, swinging picks and shoveling overburden with the blazing sun, you know, beating down upon us. And Denver would go, "Oh, blimey." I don't know if he would actually say blimey. He's from the north of England, but I don't know if he actually ever said blimey. He'd say other stuff that I can't repeat here on stream. But he'd go, dinosaurs never die in the shade. So yeah. Anyway. Scrolling down. Good stuff. Anyway, appreciate you. Articulate Reptile, thank you for the raid. I hope you had a great stream. It's good to see you here. And welcome to Paleontologizing. Lovely to have you here. Yeah. How inconsiderate of those dinosaurs. Yep, they never die in the shade. I thought they'd be. They've always got to die way out in the middle of nowhere. But yeah, how rude of dinosaurs to go extinct. Yeah, and pave the way for mammals like us to develop and diversify. Cephalon wolf. Yeah. And Runelore, it would be really cool if one zoomed, but they'd have to move things around way too often, Runelore. If there were extinct animals added to their tree of life. Yeah. Ugh. And Give Them Now says, I have to ask a silly question, but is Hell Creek near the city of Hell? Well, I mean, are you talking about the Hell Creek Formation? Or are you talking about Hell Creek, Montana? But Hell Creek, Montana is near the formation, the Hell Creek Formation, is named after Hell Creek in Montana, which Hell, Michigan is like 1,000 miles away. Or it's many, many miles away now, yeah. Anyway. And hey, Helix Fossil, how are you doing? Welcome. Good to have you here. Yeah. And Orchid Twilight's got a great question. Orchid wants to know, why is it that most dinosaur fossils are in scorching wastelands? They aren't always. But we tend to find dinosaur fossils in this kind of area. In order to be able to actually walk around and find fossils, you gotta go to areas with a lot of exposed rock. And those tend to be areas that are either very hot or very cold. You know, because it's kind of too hot for forest. There's too much erosion. There's not a lot of topsoil. You know, forests tend to be kind of cool because there tends to be moisture there in order to actually sustain those plants. But also forests, they provide a lot of shade. They just kind of cool things down. Areas like this, what we call badlands, which is such a misnomer. I'm kind of convinced that the people who came up with that term badlands, they were like, oh yeah, don't come here. It's terrible. It's not beautiful at all. It's not like you have a marvelous wonderland of sedimentary rock to admire. It's like they're trying to keep tourists away or something, you know? Oh yeah, they're real badlands. Believe me, you don't want to come here. They're bad. Anyway, these are the best lands for finding fossils. So yeah. Yeah. Badlands. Badlands are a type of dried terrain where softer sedimentary rock and clay-rich soils have been extensively eroded. These are the places to find incredible fossils. Yeah, so it tends to be areas that are kind of hotter. And colder during the winters. So yeah. Yeah. It's an Iceland move for sure, says her new original. Yeah, yeah. Kind of like Death Valley, Nuclear Cowboy, yeah. Yeah, although I know a lot of people who go to Death Valley for tourism. Yeah. You're welcome, Orchid. And Claire Burr, as usual, is correct about this. She says it's about what's happening to the landscape that makes it a good place to find fossils. Yeah, in an area like this, you just have erosion happening all the time. Like, these are ever-changing environments. Like, rain and wind and ice, freeze, thaw are just constantly carving away these rocks all the time. And, that's how you end up with all of these marvelous fossils being exposed all the time. You've got a lot of erosion there. Yeah. In fact, I want to say Jack Horner actually has a line about this in Dinosaur Lives. Do I have a hard, or, no, sorry, in How to Build a Dinosaur. Do I have a hardcover copy of that book? Shoot, I don't know if I do. I don't think I do. Shoot. Or else I would read that portion to you. But yeah, I think Jack has some lines about that in his book, How to Build a Dinosaur. So yeah. Yeah. And I have been to Badlands National Park. I enjoyed it a lot, DJ. Yeah. Yeah. And I've also been to Wall Drug. I've got many pressed pennies from Wall Drug. That's kind of a mecca for pressed pennies. Yeah. Trappy Jenkins says they should change the name to Good Dinosaur Land. Maxim Darner says they were called Badlands because colonizers kept losing their cattle in them. I think that's part of it. I want to say that the name actually... I want to say it comes from French originally. Let's see. Badlands topography, yeah. Origin. Regolith terminology. The word Badlands is a calc or loan translation. It's a word or phrase borrowed from another language by literal word for word or root for root translation. From the Canadian French phrase, Les Merveilleuses Terres. I'm sure I butchered that, but Les Merveilleuses Terres was the early French fur traders called the White River Badlands Les Merveilleuses Terres à traverser, or Badlands to traverse, perhaps influenced by the Lakota people who moved there in the late 1700s, who refer to the terrain as Makoshika, meaning bad land or eroded land. And that term is actually, that's a state park in Montana, Makoshika State Park, where we found many dinosaur fossils. That's, most of that's Hell Creek Formation. Yeah. Anyway, cool stuff. Les Mauvais Terres. Thank you, Dr. Javasaurs. Appreciate you. Anyway. And Nuclear Cowboy says, so the acid from trees messes up bones? Not really. It's more that trees end up like holding the substrate in place. Trees prevent erosion. And you need a lot of erosion happening all the time in order to make the right conditions for finding new fossils. The land's got to be constantly changing. Trees kind of put a pause on that. You put a tree there, it sends its roots down, it holds that rock, that substrate, that soil in place. And trees can also help with soil retention, which is a bad thing when you're looking for fossils, you know? You want land that is just constantly eroding all the time, so that you can get wonderful stuff like that, you know? Yeah. Does that make sense? Look at that. Gorgeous. So, yeah. Yeah. Anywho. Yeah. And Nell says, I hear from friends you've unknowingly crossed the border into Canada. Has that ever happened to you or people you know? Oh, yeah. Yeah. I've definitely done that before. Well, actually, I bet you I have a few times, and I didn't even realize it. But there was, I think it was on July 4th, 2012. We crossed the border into Canada on foot. And there's nobody out there. It's way out in the middle of nowhere, north of Rudyard, Montana. And that was part of our July 4th festivities. They had like these big obelisk things there. And there's like one every mile or so along the border. There's no fence. There's just like a, you know, like a cement obelisk kind of a deal. So we went and saw that. But, yeah. Nuclear Cowboy says you would find a lot of bones at the bottom of washes like gold. Yes, Nuclear Cowboy, except unlike gold, which is pretty resistant to erosion, the bones break apart when they come out. So you'll find little pieces of bone, of dinosaur fossil, dinosaur bone, and you follow that up to say the top of a gully, or the side of a gully, and you try and figure out where that bone is spilling out from. Bone is not nearly as hard as gold is, you know? Fossil bone is pretty brittle, especially when it's been out in the elements. So yeah. Good old stratigraphy. There you go, Mwemla. Yes, indeed. People happy. Indeed. Yeah. And a lot of fossil news we get out east begins with they were digging up land for a Walmart and they found this. Yeah, Maxim Darnage, it happens. It happens. Yeah. And Aditya says, apparently the border between Canada and the United States, the longest international border in the world. Between two different countries, sure. Yeah, Aditya. Between the two same countries. That makes sense. I would say Russia's border with all of these other states would be much longer, but those are a bunch of different countries beneath Russia. South of Russia. So yeah. Yeah. And yeah, that border is definitely unguarded, Claire. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Anyway, keep an eye on this. I gotta check on something real quick. But here's our Stegosaurus skull. The snout is currently printing. I will be back in half a jiff, okay? Here goes. Whoa, all right. And there you go, Nuclear Cowboy. Hey, that's what we do here, is we learn new things every day. I learn something new every time I stream. At least one new thing, if not many, many new things. It's the whole point of what I do here on Paleontologizing, you know? Here, I'm excited to show everybody something cool that I came across today that I think you will also find very interesting. And, here we go. It is right here. There we go. So everybody's seen mounted Triceratops skeletons before, and everybody's seen Triceratops illustrations with skin on. But how often do you get to see a reconstruction of the in-between? This is from Matt Dempsey here on Twitter. And this really is beautiful. A Triceratops fleshed out from the bones up. Very cool stuff. So this is, if we want to be really rigorous about our dinosaur reconstructions, this is how we do it. First, we have a skeletal reconstruction. We put all the bones together to figure out what they would have looked like, and then, looking at muscle scars on the bones, we can actually figure out where the different muscles would have attached. And that gives us a pretty good indication of what those different muscle groups would look like. And then, we can kind of flesh out our dinosaur like that. So you've all seen Triceratops with the skin. Here is one step underneath that. Pretty cool stuff, right? Yeah. Really, really neat. And which specimen is the model? This is, and I can tell just by looking at the skull, this is the Hatcher specimen of Triceratops horridus at the Smithsonian in Washington, D.C. Yeah. There we go. Really cool animal there. Those hind limbs don't look right, though. I wonder if this is the... Yeah. So back, the last time I visited the Smithsonian was when I was in, well, shoot, 7th grade? The first and last time. And this is what the specimen looked like at the time. Yeah. But look at the nasal horn there, Claire Burr. Really short nasal horn. This is a Triceratops from low down in the Hell Creek, probably. Yeah. Yeah, very nice. And there is that skull. Yeah. Shoot. Hang on. Maybe I can... Let's try some, see if we can get some backdoor access here. No! Shoot! Oh, well, I will not be able to read that because I'm not subscribed to the Washington Post. Sure, democracy dies in darkness. It also dies behind a paywall, Washington Post. Gah. Anyway, nowadays, Hatcher the Triceratops is being chomped on by a Tyrannosaurus. Who knows what specimen of Tyrannosaurus that is right there? Can anybody tell me? Anybody think they might know? It's not Stan. Nope. Nope. It's not Stan, Jody Fish. Nope. Definitely not Stan. You know this Tyrannosaurus specimen? We've spoken about it many, many times. It's the Wonkelrex, Victorious. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yeah. We've got the Wonkelrex. You look closely, that's the same exact skull right there. The Wonkelrex at the Smithsonian Institution. We used to have this specimen at Museum of the Rockies. I knew it well, and I, for at least a few elements, actually helped them pack this up. It was kind of a pitch hitter for them, helping pack up some of these elements so we could send them off to Washington. But, yeah, anyway. Now, poor Hatcher is being torn apart by a T-Rex. The Wonkelrex. Who's also from Montana, I think. But yeah, hang on a minute. An elegy for Hatcher the Triceratops. Named in honor of the discovering paleontologist, Hatcher introduced Triceratops to the world and was a pillar of the Smithsonian community for 113 years. And uh-oh, what happened? Hatcher is dead. The Triceratops was 66 million years old. I mean, he's been dead for 66 million years. It's... yeah. Don't cry for me, Laramidia. I'm now on display for millions of people to see. Named in honor of the discovering paleontologist, Hatcher introduced Triceratops to the world and was a pillar of the Smithsonian community for 113 years. Hatcher is survived by a longtime frenemy Tyrannosaurus Rex, who could be seen eating Hatcher, and the David H. Koch Hall of Fossils - Deep Time, opening June 18th, 2009. Post and Death Hatcher will bring an extinct ecosystem to life.
This exhibition is the first of its kind. Deep Time is about how...
Wait, really? All due respect, I don't think this is the first of its kind. That sounds like some highfalutin nonsense there. Lots and lots of other exhibits have definitely tried to show, like, a walk through time. That's a huge cliche in paleontological exhibits. What?
Deep Time is about how no living thing exists on its own, how all life is connected. This history is unbelievable, and the specimens are startling.
Yeah, it's the Smithsonian, you know?
Walking in and looking up at that T-Rex with those tremendous teeth and those claws.
We want people to walk into that exhibit and have their jaws drop.
This exhibit starts at the beginning of our planet, and it ends in your future. The previous Hall of Fossils opened in 1911 with a bunch of skeletons, and it's slowly
How's the volume, by the way? Is it okay?
Century. And when we closed this hall
Yeah.
in 2014, it was an amalgam of many partial renovations of the hall. It had some cool stuff, but it really missed integrating all the science that happened over the last century. This new exhibit will tell the story of life on Earth, but it's going to be very different than all similar exhibits around the world, because this one's not going to end in the past. This one will end in the future.
I've been to a few museums that do that.
It's a big story.
Yeah,
It's
I don't know.
my story as an individual, but it's our story as a species on the planet today.
There will be hundreds of new specimens in this exhibit that people haven't seen before.
That's
And
very cool.
Many of the old ones they won't recognize because they will
Yep.
be reconditioned and in different poses.
We have a Tyrannosaurus Rex and a Triceratops, where the Tyrannosaurus is feeding on the Triceratops. It's a very difficult, challenging pose to do when you're dealing with real fossil bone.
Very cool.
We have included a number of actual, real, touchable fossils in the exhibit space.
A lot of museums do. That's kind of par for the course.
Of a tooth.
If you don't have touchable fossils in your modern museum exhibit, you're kind of behind the times. I realize this is from a number of years ago. You know, this is from what, probably 2018, something like that? 2017? But this is the standard now. I mean, if you don't have touchable dinosaur fossils in your exhibits, you're missing something, you know?
Of a vertebrae, of a skull.
Yeah.
By looking at fossils, you don't just see ancient dead things, you actually see the story of our planet.
There will be educators and volunteers who can talk with visitors about what they're learning in the
That's really cool.
Having the ability to interact with someone.
That's actually one of my favorite things about. Oh, and look who that is right there! Holy cow! Who can tell me who this is? Anybody think they know? Yeah. We don't actually have a nickname for this specimen. Yeah, and there you go. It is our baby Triceratops. Give me just a minute, and I'll wheel in our baby Triceratops. I currently have it on a cart, but yeah. And they did make the baby too big. You are right, Dr. Javasaurus. I assume whoever made this is more of an artist than so I don't know. Yeah, whatever. But anyway, one of my very favorite things working in different museums, whether it's Museum of the Rockies, whether it's the Badlands Dinosaur Museum, whether it's the Museum of Paleontology at Berkeley, at the University of California, one of my very favorite things is being able to go sit there, or stand there, rather, next to some of the fossil displays and answer people's questions that they have. And just kind of be there and be present and talk to them about these really cool exhibits, you know? Always one of my very, very, very favorite things to do. So yeah. And Smurf, you have a good rest of your day. Thanks for being here, Smurf. So yeah. Anyway, let's continue this real quick.
What they're learning in the exhibit.
Yeah.
Having the ability to interact with someone who does know something about that object helps
Yeah.
visitors
Do
go
you
deeper
think
than they would otherwise.
dinosaurs are put together correctly? The bones. You're smart. What do you think?
Do a research on that, Oliver.
I never.
Skip K, thank you for the follow and welcome to Paleontologizing. It's good to have you here.
They start asking questions and then more questions and really getting engaged in learning, which is amazing to see.
When you start to see the similarities of Earth across time and space, you start to understand a little more about how things work and what happens when things don't work.
On this planet, we've come to play a mighty big role. We changed the composition of the atmosphere, we changed the climate, we changed the chemistry of the ocean. And the result is we have a much greater obligation to understand how those systems work than we ever had.
Anyway, a little bit ironic that they're talking about this when it's the David Koch Hall of Natural History or whatever, but yeah. Why don't I wheel in that baby Triceratops and we'll take a look at that. But, yeah. And, Mommy Does says, most college interns sit behind a desk and check people out for the gift shop. You're right, Mommy Does, yeah. I always strive, when I was working, say, at the Badlands Dinosaur Museum, in, which, if any of you are ever traveling through North Dakota, and you do not stop at the Badlands Dinosaur Museum, holy cow, you're doing something wrong. Yeah. Here we go. It will blow your mind. Feathers. Bones. New dinosaur species. That must be like a local commercial that they came up with. That's really nice. But, yeah. Anyway. The, Badlands Dinosaur Museum. Here's a video that somebody put together here. I'll go get the baby Triceratops while we're talking about this. While you're watching this. Wah! Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. Excuse me. Very nice. Yeah, in Dickinson, North Dakota. Which is along that main highway there in North Dakota. What is that? Highway 90, I think? Yeah. Some of my favorite memories of working in a museum are just, you know, I was doing some graphic design and, you know, creating some placards and signs like that. I created the time scale that goes on all of the new placards at the Badlands Dinosaur Museum. And like a bunch of other stuff, you know, just creating signage and stuff for them on my little laptop at the time when I was working there with Denver and Liz. But I insisted on not working, you know, in the laboratory behind the scenes when I'm working there on my laptop doing graphic design. I insisted on setting up a folding table out in the exhibit hall so that when people walked by, they could ask me what I was doing. We had a Triceratops humerus, you know, the upper arm bone of a Triceratops. I had it sitting there on my desk, and I think I made a little sign that says, like, ask me about Triceratops or something like that. And so people would, and then I'd talk to them, I'd say, hey, would you like to touch a real Triceratops upper arm bone, a humerus? And they go, yeah, of course. And I talked to them about dinosaurs, and it was great. It was wonderful. Being able to interface with people like that was really tremendous. I don't think there's enough of that in museums, you know? I think that can be a tremendously meaningful experience to visitors, to be able to talk with a paleontologist, talk about somebody who knows something about these exhibits, you know, kind of form a personal connection like that. Kind of helps the museum come alive to them. So yeah. Anyway, and you did see Chirarchunkus in the first commercial, Golganek. You did indeed. Sharp eyes there, Golganek. Yes. And I-90 runs from Seattle to Boston. Wow, Kirsten. I bet you that might be the same one. Let me look that up real quick. Maps. Yeah. And that... No, 94. 94 is what I'm thinking of. Highway 94. Which, who knows how far that extends. I guess 90 might turn into 94 somewhere in Montana. Anyway, it's Highway 94 that runs through Dickinson and through most of North Dakota. So yeah. And Cephalon Wolf says, would you say you knew you wanted to do science outreach earlier in your career? I thought I did, Cephalon Wolf. Growing up and watching shows like, I don't know. Watching shows like Paleo World.
In an isolated valley.
Yeah. I recognized early on that, yeah, does anybody remember this show? Paleo World. Yeah. I knew from a very early age that I wanted to be involved with talking to the public about fossil science. From the time I was like 6 or 7 years old, I think. And shoot, holy cow. That's what I'm doing today. So yeah. Thank you for the hydrates there now. Yeah. Put some more water in this. It's mostly ice. And Ushlu, how are you doing? Welcome to Paleontologizing. What's shaking? It's good to have you here. Welcome, Ushlu. So yeah. And Lenina, someday I'm sure you will get to hold an actual Triceratops bone. Triceratops are pretty common animals. Yeah. Someday, Lenina. And 80, yeah, Mommy does. 80, Highway 80 is like the best U.S. highway. That's an S-tier highway right there. There's a wonderful book, Basin and Range by John McPhee, where he accompanies some geologists along Highway 80, looking at, yeah, all kinds of different outcrops and kind of talking about the history of North America, geology. So yeah. And Ushlu, how are you doing? Welcome to Paleontologizing. Good to have you here. Yeah. Let me introduce you to our baby Triceratops, who's not done yet. But I 3D printed this whole thing. Like, right now we're printing a Stegosaurus snoot on there. I printed a whole baby Triceratops on the 3D printer, life size, and here it is. There we go. Yeah! Difficult to kind of fit it in frame here, but oof. And I still have a few more pieces to assemble. The tail is not on yet. Here, this might help. There we go. Yeah. And part of the rib cage is not on yet. The different hip bones, except for the ilia, are not yet assembled. But I'm working on this. And yeah. We'll do an official unveiling before too long, because she's gonna go right up there on top of our bookcase. Very excited. Full-size baby Triceratops skeleton. Very, very excited. Yeah. And I'll probably do some videos about that. Yeah. YouTube videos, Tink Tonk videos, stuff like that. So yeah, stay tuned. That's gonna be a ton of fun. And I'm gonna paint it too, Scout. Yes, indeed. Yeah, because right now, it is this beautiful color. This really nice, kind of bronze color here. But that's not quite right. I want to make it look like an actual, like an actual fossil animal. And so we're gonna be painting it also. So I've got a very busy week this week, but maybe early next week I'll have the thing assembled. Have the tail on there. Here's part of the tail, which will attach bow right here. And then there's another support rod that's gonna go on that. And it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. So yeah. But I'm excited about this. Very excited. Triceratops, one of my very favorite dinosaurs, very near and dear to my heart. Because I've dug up a whole bunch of Triceratops over the course of my career, and my goodness, are they incredible animals. They're very, very cool. We know more about Triceratops as a dinosaur than almost any other dinosaurs. The amount of cool science that we can do on this animal is, it's truly impressive. So yeah. Does Alan Hill's 84001 look like microfossils to you? Aerospace engineering student. Welcome, Skip K. Are you... Is that the thing from Mars that's supposed to look like forams or like a crinoid or something like that? I don't recognize the name Alan Hills 84001, but if it's the one that's supposed to look like a crinoid, then I would say no. It really doesn't look like a fossil to me. Yeah. But yeah. Anyway. Thank you, Travel, by the way, for your support in creating this. Because I think some, if not most, of the filament that went into making this came from Travel the World. So thank you, Travel. A lot of this is because of your generosity, so I appreciate you, Travel. I really, really do. Thank you very much. Yeah. So yeah. Anyway, yeah, Skip K, Alan Hills. Let me just do a Google search for that real quick. Let's see if I can pull up. I bet you that's an image. Oh, meteorite? Oh, shoot. I don't know. I'm definitely not a micro-paleontologist. It's a nickel meteorite? Yeah. Let's see what Wikipedia has to say about it. It's found in the Allen Hills in Antarctica on December 27, 1984. It was thought to have originated on Mars, however, it does not fit into any of the previously discovered SNC groups. About 4.3 pounds, 1.93 kilos. Initial paper and enormous scientific and public attention caused by it are considered turning points in the history of the developing science of astrobiology. Interesting. Yeah. Oh, I do recognize this. There we go. Yeah. Chain structures resembling living organisms. I don't know about this. This is well outside of my wheelhouse. Skip K, or it's probably Sci PK, isn't it? Sci PK. Well outside of my wheelhouse, whether or not this is remains of an extraterrestrial organism or just, you know, kind of a chance arrangement of, you know, stuff here. I don't know. I work on dinosaurs, you know? I work on much larger stuff. This is very small for me, you know? A baby Triceratops is very small for me. Anytime we get anything microscopic, that is like, oh boy, well outside of my wheelhouse. So it's a really interesting idea, but I don't know. Could this be an actual fossil from another planet? I don't know enough to actually have a legit opinion on this, and I gotta be honest about that. So I hope that's a satisfactory answer for you. Hope you're not too disappointed. So yeah. Yeah. And SNC pronounced snick are really fun meteorites. I did not know that. That's the pronunciation. Cool, Jody Fish. Yeah. And, yeah, and wheelhouse. I believe that's to do with, like, a mill or something. Isn't it fall machine, or is it... No, that's a nautical term, isn't it? It's like the, it's like the bridge of a ship. The wheelhouse, right? Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. And how many rolls of filament for the trike? I think this was 2. I think this was 2 spools of filament for our baby Triceratops here, who is finished. I just don't have it all the way assembled, but it's all the way printed. You can see there's the rear of our baby trike right there. But yeah, yeah. Anyway, I'll have her assembled and put up on the bookshelf within the next couple weeks, I think. That's my idea. Yeah, or that's my goal. My hope. Cephalon Wolf says, I feel like science teaches us there's nothing wrong with admitting I don't know. Not only is there nothing wrong with admitting I don't know, saying I don't know means that there is something out there left to be discovered. There, like, somewhere, something amazing is just waiting to be found, unraveled, explained. And that, to me, is incredibly exciting. You know? I feel like this is maybe not true in other areas. I don't know. And something like, I don't know. I feel like a lot of people treat the phrase "I don't know" as kind of an admission of defeat. Like, oh, I don't know. I'm ignorant about that. Like, I don't know. In science, saying "I don't know" is like... That's incredibly exciting. Because that means that there is something really cool out there that is still waiting to be discovered. You know? How could you not get riled up by that? Get excited. Get pumped. Yeah. There's science to be done. There you go, Lordy. Yes, indeed. How are you doing, Lordy? Welcome back. Hope you're feeling okay, Lordy. I know you didn't stream today, right? Yeah. I hope you're on the mend. I hope you and Ios are doing okay. Hope you're taking care of each other. It's good to see you, Lordy. It always is. Oh, yeah. Yeah. And xenopaleontology is a science that is yet to be explored, but it will be big when it does. If we ever manage to find fossils on another planet, that would be really cool now. But yeah, yeah. And Cephalon Wolf says, I don't know, and science is an invitation to research. Absolutely. To do research, to do fieldwork, to explore strange new avenues. Never before examined. Yeah. I don't know, but I'll be darned if I don't go out looking for answers. There you go, Nell. Absolutely. Yeah. And Jody Fish has a quote from Data from Star Trek: The Next Generation. The quote is, "The most elementary and valuable statement in science. The beginning of wisdom is, I do not know. I do not know what that is." Jody Fish, that is, that's where it is. You got it, Jody Fish. Absolutely, yeah. Anyway. And Carpomania says, dinosaurs on other planets? That's not likely, Carpomania. It's really not. Dinosaurs evolved here on Earth. Even if you had very similar looking creatures that happened to evolve on some distant planet, they wouldn't be dinosaurs, because dinosaurs by definition evolved from dinosaur ancestors and then they gave rise to birds, you know? That's literally how we define dinosaurs, so they wouldn't be dinosaurs on another planet. Unless somehow Earth dinosaurs got onto another planet. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, yeah. And thank you for the hydrate there, Miss Yvette. I gotta go put some more water in this. So give me a second, and I'll do another plug for the Badlands Dinosaur Museum. If you ever visit there, keep an eye out for some stuff that I contributed. Badlands Dinosaur Museum. Here we go. Yeah. You're gonna see Denver and Liz in this. Two of my colleagues. Denver's my old crew chief. Liz was my crew chief when I was in Rudyard. They're married nowadays. Kind of a paleontology power couple. Check this out. Yeah. Be right back.
Hi, my name is Dr. Denver Fowler, and I'm the curator of paleontology here at Badlands Dinosaur Museum, Dickinson Museum Centre. So what I love about the Badlands Dinosaur Museum is the opportunity that we have to do something different. We're planning our new exhibits in a way that's different from what you'll have seen before at other museums. We want to do immersive exhibits. We want to have unique specimens that you can't see anywhere else, and tell stories about basically being a dinosaur detective. How do we find out how these animals lived? What's the process of science? We're not just walking through time as you might have seen in other exhibits. We're doing something different here. That's what we want to do.
My name is...
So Denver is... I've always really admired Denver. Denver's a bit of an iconoclast in the best way. Usually in the best way. But he doesn't want his museum to be like other museums. He wants to do something different and new, thought-provoking. He wants people to walk away and go, you know, that was really, really cool. You know? So yeah.
As you might have seen in other exhibits, we're doing something different here. That's what
yeah.
My name is Destiny Wolf, and I am a
I've never
board
actually met
member
Destiny.
and volunteer fossil preparator here at the Dickinson Museum.
She must have joined up after my tenure there.
Part of our efforts here at the Dickinson
Tenure.
Museum Center
That's
include
too
our
pretentious.
continued efforts to build
My work there.
a world-class dinosaur museum.
Yeah.
Where we're able to not just see replicas, but real fossils that we're bringing in.
That's a real Triceratops process there.
Fundraising efforts here at the Dickinson Museum Center are going to help sustain us. It means that we're going to be able to continue to preserve what we've already collected and continue to collect new things to put on display here for the community and people traveling from all over the country and internationally.
My name is Dr. Liz Friedman.
There's Liz.
And I'm on the board of the Stark County Historical Society and the Southwest North Dakota Museum Foundation. I'm a paleontologist, so here at the museum I work with our curator, Dr. Denver Fowler, to uncover new dinosaurs and improve the exhibits and just bring a lot of fresh paleontology and science to Dickinson.
Very cool.
Some of our past fundraising has enabled us
Liz is wearing Denver's hat right there.
to Dickinson.
It looks so big on her. That's Denver's hat. Normally Liz wears like a blue bandana in the field. That's kind of her field look. That's what works for her. But yeah. And look at this beautiful limb bone of some kind of, it's probably a hadrosaur right there. Not just because it's Liz, you know. Liz works on hadrosaurs, but it's probably a hadrosaur limb bone right there. That's probably a tib, maybe.
Some of our past fundraising has enabled us to go out to Montana in the summer and dig some incredible specimens. We've got an articulated arm of a mummified hadrosaur, a duck-billed.
You actually have seen this in my the previously recorded Danny video. So like the, you know, chiseling in the ground like that, it's me and Liz. We were trying to get this darn thing out of the ground. There's like it was kind of at an angle like this, and we were trying to basically crack the bottom of it so that we could pull it out. And yeah, that's an articulated hadrosaur arm. So articulated means all the bones are in place like they would be in life. And there's even skin impressions on there that they found after they actually chipped some stuff away in the laboratory, which is really, really cool. That's that specimen. So this is the same one from the welcome video. Yeah.
Dinosaur, and we're also digging.
Ferbly says, why always go fossil hunting in summer? Why not winter? Two main reasons, Ferbly. First reason is that a lot of our labor in the field comes from volunteers who happen to be oftentimes students of school during, you know, the fall and the spring and the winter. They're off during the summer, though. The main reason is, if you've never been to Montana, in wintertime, it generally looks, you know, something like this. There's snow everywhere. Sometimes in Montana, there's snow for like 9 months out of the year. It might be June through August. You're guaranteed pretty much no snow. It is like the planet Hoth. There you go, give them now. Yeah. Gotta dig them out of the first snow in winter. There you go, Lordy. Yeah. I have actually been in the field when it snowed before. I think it was like late August. And we got like... Occasionally it does snow. Apparently, I was looking up some statistics about this at one point. And during the 20th century, from 1900 to 2000, in the U.S. state of Montana, there was not a single day of the calendar. Like, if you look at all 365 days in the year, from January 1st to December 31st, there's not a single day when it was snow-free every single day of the year for the whole century. Does that make sense? Doesn't matter. Octavius.
What lives will they destroy? What depths of panic and terror will they create?
Octavius King. Thank you for the raid. And welcome back to Paleontologizing. How are you doing, Octavius? It's great to have you here. How are you, and how are the rats? our rodent friends. I hope everybody's getting along. And, I love that you're here. Welcome back, Octavius. Really appreciate your support. If anybody's here for the very first time, let me introduce myself real quick. Like you, Wage W, how are you doing? Welcome, welcome. Let me introduce myself. My name is Danny Anduza. I'm a dinosaur paleontologist. I'm here on Twitch trying to do some good old-fashioned science outreach. Trying to talk to all of you about what I'm most passionate about. Fossil science. Dinosaurs in particular, as you could probably guess. Looking at my office here. But I dig up dinosaurs for various museums across the western U.S. I study dinosaurs. I publish on them in the scientific literature. And nowadays, since the summer of 2021, I stream full-time here on Twitch. This is actually how I make my living, believe it or not. So yeah. If you've got questions about dinosaurs, about natural history, about the fossil record, extinction, evolution, any of that good stuff, any questions at all, don't be shy, but maybe hold on to those for just a minute, because I think we might watch a quick welcome video. But yeah. Oh, and it's Wagyu. Okay, got you, Wagyu. Well, welcome, Wagyu. Good to have you here. And again, Octavius, thank you for your raid. I really appreciate it. Deepest Blue Dragon, Frankie D, Dr. Chronic. How are you all doing? It is great to have you here. I hope you had a wonderful time with Octavius and the rats. If you'd like, we can even talk a little bit about rats in a little bit. Remarkably successful animals. Rodents as a whole are one of the most speciose groups of mammals. There are more species of rats than almost any other kind of mammal, except for maybe bats. Bats and rats, you know, they've been real winners in terms of mammalian diversity. But anyway, you know who else is a real winner in our book? It's previously recorded Danny, and he is already standing behind me, arms crossed, ready to explain to all of you what paleontologizing is all about, why a paleontologist is here on Twitch in the first place. So stay tuned, and he's going to walk you through that. Thank you again, Octavius King. Really appreciate the raid. And previously recorded, Danny. The spotlight is on you right now. Go ahead and take it away.
Well, thanks, present day Danny. Well, if you're new here, then welcome to Paleontologizing. You might be wondering to yourself, where's the video games? Well, my name's Danny Anduza, and I'm a paleontologist. I don't really do too much in the way of video games, I guess. I work on dinosaurs. But how does a paleontologist end up on Twitch? Well, I'll tell you. It all started when I moved to Montana right out of high school. In my first week there, I started working in the Paleo Lab at Museum of the Rockies, which at the time was probably the greatest dinosaur museum on the planet. If you've ever seen any of the Jurassic Park movies, then you're more familiar with that institution and with my old boss than you may realize.
You consulted on that movie.
I did consult on all those movies.
And they said that the guy, Alan Grant, was you.
Yes. Yeah, well, fortunately, he didn't get eaten.
It was in that program that Jack Horner built that I learned how to be a dinosaur paleontologist. I learned a lot of that from Jack Horner's last graduate student, this guy, Denver Fowler, who would go on to become curator of the Badlands Dinosaur Museum in North Dakota. Under Denver, I did nearly a decade's worth of fieldwork, digging at hundreds of sites in the Upper Cretaceous, excavating literally hundreds of dinosaurs. Here's just a few highlights. In 2012, I discovered the world's oldest specimen of Chasmosaurus, hopefully soon to be published as a new species. In 2017, we dug up a brand new ankylosaur.
Montana's news leader.
5 paleontologists are excavating what looks to likely be a new species of armored dinosaur.
So we found its head, we found parts of its armor and plates, and so it should be a new species.
I've also been lucky enough to help collect another very important specimen, the world's smallest and youngest Tyrannosaurus rex. And much like my fieldwork, my research is also centered on dinosaurs. Some of that deals with new genera and species, like this guy, Triceratops, a bizarre little theropod from the very end of the age of dinosaurs, who was just published in July of 2020. I've got a few studies in the works right now, some of them focusing on dinosaur biogeography, and some others on behavioral functional morphology, basically looking at bizarre features of dinosaur skeletal anatomy and trying to figure out why those features evolved. And one of my current projects involves spinosaurs, but I can't really talk about that until it's closer to publication, so don't ask me about it yet. Anyway, let's get back to how I ended up on Twitch. A couple years ago, things were definitely on the decline in Montana, so I packed up and moved back to the West Coast. And I have been so much happier here. I've also realized that I have very little patience for the soul-deadening bureaucracy within academia. So for the time being anyway, I've moved my career in a different direction. And lucky for me, it happens to pay a lot better too. I kind of stumbled my way into a job in early childhood education. I get to make a real difference in kids' lives and help instill a love of nature and a burning curiosity for the world around them. Then coronavirus descended, and the school shut its doors. But I wasn't about to let a global pandemic stop me and my students. We just moved online.
1, 2, 3. I love digging in the dirt with just a pick and brush. Finding fossils is my aim, and so I'm never in a rush, because the treasures that I see are rare and ancient things, like velociraptors' jumps or Archaeopteryx's wings, and all the kids who wanna see them lining up at our museum. I am a paleontologist. That's who I am, that's who I am, that's who I am. I am a paleontologist. That's who I am, that's who I am, that's who I am. That's who I am, that's who I am, that's who I am. That's who I am, that's who I am, that's who I am.
Having made the jump to teaching remotely, it was only a short leap from there to Twitch. I started streaming in May of 2020, and it's been tremendously rewarding. Now, it's my belief that any good scientist should also be a public servant. In my opinion, talking to everyday people about your science is one of the most important things a researcher can do. Twitch is kind of an ideal medium for that. This is my passion, and now I get to share it with you. And what could be cooler than that? It's my intention to continue this mission of education by answering your questions, providing good science content, and working to grow this channel. And if you could help out by continuing to watch, or if you can afford it by subscribing, I would be deeply grateful. So, for my regular viewers, thank you for sitting through that again. And for everybody who's new, welcome. We've got a fantastic little community going here, and we'd be really happy if you'd join us. Anyway, let's go ahead and wrap this up and get back into it. So, present day Danny, back to you.
Well, thank you very much, previously recorded Danny, and thank you, as always, to our friend Octavius King for that awesome raid.
Dinosaurs became extinct because they no longer knew how to love each other. Is that correct?
No, that's not correct.
Exactly. And I certainly wouldn't want our species to end the same way.
Oh no!
Awesome. Glad to be here. Smiley face.
Deepest Blue Dragon, thank you for the 8 months of support. Really appreciate that. Really, really appreciate that. Welcome back, and thank you for keeping me here online for the past 8 months. That's a long time, and I appreciate it tremendously. Yeah. Excellent. Excellent. Yeah. And Nell says, I just realized another person Danny looks like, the dad from Tarzan. John Greystroke? I don't know who that is, but dare I perform a Google image search? I'm not coming up with anything. Yeah, nothing. What? Confused. Yeah. Yeah, thoroughly confused here. Gray Stoke. This guy looks like... Is that not Brendan Fraser? That's somebody else? Not coming up with anything. Yeah. I don't know. I'm not seeing it. I'm seeing Tarzan. I'm not seeing another person. Anyway. Yeah. Anywho. We've got a dinosaur deep dive to do, which I've neglected to do until this point. Thank you, Lenina, for redeeming a dinosaur deep dive for Claire Burr. Wailia? Wailia? Interesting. This is both a bird and a dinosaur, as many of our recent dinosaur deep dives have been. Wailia is an extinct genus of birds containing a single species, known from the early Cretaceous of Sussex, England. This can't be known from very much material if it's from England. And I am not immediately familiar with it. I bet you it's based on pretty fragmentary material. The genus is known from a single specimen, a damaged right humerus. What did I just tell you? Oh boy, it's known from a single upper arm bone. Yeah. I mean, a lot of birds are known from very fragmentary material.
Dinosaur man.
And holy cow, well, thank you to Captain Paul for the 3 months of support. Appreciate you, Captain Paul. How you doing? Welcome back. It's good to see you. Yeah. Yeah, and it's a W dinosaur. There you go, Clipper. The W dinosaurs are very rare. Yeah. So yeah, and Nos of Trades, how are you doing? Welcome back. It's been a while, Nos of Trades. How are you? Yeah. The speculation of the iridescence is what got me. I wondered if there was a reason for it, if all they had was the arm or wing. Now, Claire, I think it's just a bird humerus, and then they decided to name it. But sometimes believed from a non-avian coelurosaur. So it could be the upper arm bone of a small non-avian dinosaur. It is now generally accepted as an early bird, although its systematic position is unresolved. Yeah. Oh boy. So not a whole lot to say about this critter. Maybe we can look at the original paper, perhaps? Full text PDF there? Oh boy. Let's try this. There we go. There we go. I don't know what else to do for a deep dive like this, but there we go. There's the original descriptive paper with most, if not all, of the information we know about this animal. Yeah, in July 1964, Mr. J. Elf Wiley, I guess that's why it's called Wailia, put an imperfect humerus in the wheeled clay lower Cretaceous at Henfield, Sussex. It was reminiscent of certain advanced archosaur humeri, but having compared it with the humeri of pterosaurs, from which it is completely distinct, and of small dinosaurs such as Hypsilophodon and Deinonychus, we are confident it represents a bird. Thank you, AAK1121, for the follow and welcome to Paleontologizing. Good to have you here. Yeah. There it is right there. So yeah, a humerus, there's that big deltopectoral crest right there on the humerus. Proximal end, distal end, so this is the end that goes up into the shoulder. This is the end that attaches to the radius and the ulna. So yeah, it's the humerus. The upper arm bone is what we're looking at. And look at that distinctive birdie curve to it. Bow. Very avian, that curve there. Yeah. Some photographs of it. It's a little chunked up, but not the worst. Yeah. Not a whole lot known about this critter. Because all we got is a single incomplete humerus. There's an illustration showing the thing as it might have looked intact. Illustration is, this is why an illustration is sometimes more helpful than a photograph, in some cases. Photographs, it's easy to get confused by, like, weird preservational anomalies and breaks and fractures and stuff. So sometimes the illustration is actually more helpful than photographs are. Need I say more? Anyway. Wiley, thank you, Claire, for suggesting that. Thank you to Lenina for redeeming it. Appreciate you. Yeah. So yeah. Yeah. Anyway. But, and work got you busy, people die. NASA trades. What line of work are you in? Are you a mortician or something like that? There have been a lot of people dying lately, you're right. Yeah, and Captain Paul, my email address is in my Twitter bio, Captain Paul. It's right there. You can find it. But it's good to have you here, Captain Paul. Yeah. And give me some find a dinosaur species and name it like me. Bucket list vibes. Yeah, Mwemla. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. Good stuff. Good stuff. And
With sincere appreciation and gratitude, thank you very much for the 100 bits.
Thank you, Travel. Okay, I will travel. Let's see. We got a whisper from Travel. And from Jody Fish, did my spool get used up already? It did, I think. If not, which one would that be? Jody Fish. It might be actually on its way to being finished now. If it was a copper-colored one, then I think that's this one right here that's being used for printing our Stegosaurus skull. Again, we're printing the skull of Stegosaurus. Yeah. A Pachycephalosaur dinosaur from the late Cretaceous of North America. Yeah. Yesterday, we printed the dome, the back of the skull, which you see right here. Yeah, with that nice little marginocephalian shelf right there. And right now, the front half is printing. The snout. Or, if you will, the snoot. Currently printing. So yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. So yeah, yeah. And another unique says, I've heard that fossilization is a rare event. It is another unique. You know what has to happen in order for somebody to become a fossil? Yeah. Let's have ourselves a look at a step-by-step guide on becoming a fossil.
Here's a step-by-step guide to becoming a fossil. Step 1, die.
Ooh. Yeah. There's no coming back from that one. So I advise nobody watching right now try to attempt becoming a fossil until long after, you know, Yeah.
Dinosaur? What?
What? Charlie Farr, thank you for the follow. Welcome to Paleontologizing. Yeah.
Once you are dead, your remains may be scavenged by
Here,
other
we'll go back to the beginning.
Here's
Because
a step.
I know some of you may have forgotten the first step already, which I would not advise you do, especially not while watching my stream.
Here's a step-by-step guide to becoming a fossil. Step 1, die.
Yeah.
Once you are dead, your remains may be scavenged by other organisms. Step 2, get buried fast.
Yep.
If you are buried rapidly, your remains won't completely decay or be carried away by scavengers.
Mm-hmm.
Your best bet for rapid burial is to die near or in a river, lake, or ocean, where water can deposit sediment over you.
Yep. Sedimentary rock.
Soak in groundwater for a long
Refine
time.
fossils.
Groundwater contains minerals. Over time, dissolved minerals can harden after filling in cavities in your skeleton.
Yep.
Or the water can dissolve your skeleton, leaving only minerals in its place.
Mm-hmm.
Either way, your skeleton will turn to stone, and you'll be a fossil.
There we go. Kapow.
Step 4. Wait to be exposed. As the years go by, if you're lucky, sea levels can fall or rock can erode and expose you.
Hmm?
Then, if your luck holds out, you might get spotted by a fossil hunter and wind up in a museum collection where scientists can study you to learn about evolution.
Pretty cool. So, as you can see, it's a complicated process to become a fossil, and most critters do not end up becoming fossils. It's actually extraordinarily rare. Given the immensity of time since the formation of the Earth, about 4.5 billion years, there's a lot of time for critters to become fossils. And so even very rare events happen many, many times over a long enough span of time. So that's why we have so many fossils today, is because of that. But, yeah. So another unique, is there an estimate of what percentage we know or don't know? I'm guessing we probably know about maybe, it kind of depends what your parameters are. If we're talking about all species of animal that ever lived, we probably know like a fraction of 1%, you know? Like 0.001% of all species of animals that ever lived do we actually have fossils of and have them named and scientifically described. Yeah. There's a great number of fossil critters that would have lived and, you know, they would have initially evolved and lived out, you know, their whole lineage and then went extinct, and they never became fossils because they didn't live in the right kind of environment where they would be covered by sediment, you know? These are critters that lived at the bottom of the ocean, or they lived in places like rainforests, you know? They lived on mountaintop environments or stuff like that, just environments where you don't get a lot of deposition of rock happening in that environment. If you live in an erosional environment rather than a depositional environment, then there's not a high chance that you will become a fossil, you know? That you'll ever get buried like that. It just doesn't work that way. So yeah, there are a tremendous number of critters over the years that lived and died, and we don't have any trace of them. There's many, many more that didn't have hard parts that are easily fossilized. Think of all the species of slugs and worms who never left any body fossils because they're just soft parts, you know? So yeah. Anyway, yeah. So yeah, I hope that makes sense. But yeah, and what's the proper pronunciation for Stegosaurus? I always say Stegosaurus, but we might have to ask Carrie about that if we ever interview him. Give me just a second. I'll be right back. I gotta check on something. But keep an eye on the 3D printer for me while I'm gone for 2 seconds here. More like 5 seconds, but here I'm back. Jody Fish's Hatchbox bronze? Yeah, I went through all the bronze filament, Jody Fish. There's, like, none left. So, thank you, Jody Fish. Your contribution was very useful. That went to the Triceratops. We used 2 spools on that. Appreciate you, Jody Fish. I really do. Yeah. And Charlie Farr says, I love dinosaurs growing up. Great channel. Thank you, Charlie Farr. That means a lot to me. It really does. Welcome to Paleontologizing. I hope you feel right at home here. Let me know if you've got any questions. Anything at all. I'm, kind of my whole reason for being here, you know? Try and give you an inside peek into how fossil science works. That's what this is all about, you know? Yeah. And do bog bodies count as fossils, Danny? Give them no. We might call those subfossils. Yeah. So, subfossils are... hang on. Yeah. There we go. Subfossils. Here on good old Wikipedia. The term subfossil can be used to refer to remains such as bones, nests, or fecal deposits whose fossilization process is not complete, either because the length of time since the animal involved was too short, less than 10,000 years, or because the conditions in which the remains were buried were not optimal for fossilization. So I think bog bodies might be an example of a subfossil there. No, if that makes sense. Yeah. Yeah. And Mwemla, you end up in a stone floor in a grandparents. There you go, Mwemla. Yeah. If you ever had limestone floors or marble floors, marble is metamorphosed limestone. There's fossils in there. So yeah, definitely. But yeah, I'm still waiting. Not Wage W. How do you say your name again? Was it Wagyu? Wagyu? Yeah, we're still waiting on the resurrection of mammoths and dodos. You should check out a VOD that I did a whole episode, several hours, on this critter, the dodo, and the new company called Colossal, which claims they're going to de-extinct the dodo. So check that out. Yeah. I wish them the best of luck. I'm not necessarily convinced they're going to succeed, but I really hope I'm wrong, you know? Roland says, I found a Rugose coral on the beach. Very cool, Roland Elliott. Very nice. Yeah. And Charlie Farr says, what's your #1 annoyance on misinformation about dinosaurs? Oh, boy. I think... Here's my #1 annoyance. When, like, the misconception about dinosaurs that I am most annoyed about is as follows. You ready? I think it's the idea that dinosaurs... I guess it's the use of the word dinosaur as a synonym for something that is obsolete or out of date, outmoded, old-fashioned. The world has left it behind. It's just kind of stumbling around, waiting to go extinct. Like, oh yeah, you know, that, you know, Senator, he's a real dinosaur. It's like, what are you talking about? Do you not understand what that term means? Do you not know anything at all about dinosaurs? Dinosaurs were an incredibly successful group of animals. You know, they ruled the earth for like 150 million years, and they only went extinct because a giant rock from outer space the size of San Francisco smashed into the earth and killed them and every other large-bodied organism, every other critter that weighed more than, like, what, 20 pounds on the surface of the planet, you know? If that hadn't happened, there's no reason to think that we, as mammals, would have survived. Or would have not survived, would have... There's no reason to think that humans would have evolved, you know? Yeah. The idea that dinosaurs were a failure, they were like the most successful group of large-bodied vertebrates that had ever developed, you know? So if you're using the term dinosaur to refer to something that is old-fashioned, outmoded, behind the times, just kind of, it's lived out its life and it's just waiting to go extinct, that means you don't recognize that, you don't understand that we now know that dinosaurs were incredibly dynamic, successful, adaptable, intelligent, warm-blooded, brightly colored, social, incredibly interesting animals. And it was only by some freak accident that they happened to go extinct. And the thing is, they didn't even go completely extinct. We still have birds today. Birds evolved from dinosaurs. Birds are a much better picture of what dinosaurs would be like than anything scaly or reptilian around today, you know? Because birds are themselves living dinosaurs. We now know a lot of dinosaurs had feathers, just like birds. That's where birds got their feathers from, was from their dinosaur ancestors. Along with the majority of other traits that make birds unique among modern animals, those are dinosaur hand-me-downs that they have. Everything from their hollow bones, to their S-shaped neck, to the structure of their ankles and their hips, and their hollow bones, their respiratory system, their color vision, all that stuff inherited from dinosaurs. So yeah, I think that's the number one thing that bugs me about... That's the number one misconception that really gets my goat. It's people looking at dinosaurs as having been failures. It's like, holy cow. We as human beings have been around for what? Maybe 500,000 years, if you're being generous, you know? Dinosaurs were around for, what, 170 million years? I mean, let's calculate it out real quick. Dinosaurs first show up on Earth probably about 240 million years ago. Minus 66 million. That's 174 million years that dinosaurs were here on our planet. And they're still here. I mean, that's just until the asteroid hits. That's just until the birds really have their big break. So yeah. Anyway, pretty extraordinary group of animals. So yeah. Scrolling down. Trying to catch up. Thank you for your question, by the way. That was a really good one. Yeah. And let's see here. Viper Nat, how are you doing? Welcome. And can you be counted as a failure if what wiped you out wasn't technically your fault? I mean, that's the thing, too, is that...
This is Laura Dern of Jurassic Park. Digging up dinosaurs is hard, frustrating work.
It
takes
is.
Months or years, so leave it to the professionals.
Dropping Kosbayev. No, hang on. Dropping Kosbayev. Thank you for the follow, and welcome to Paleontologizing. How are you doing? Yeah, ViperNet, that's a really good point. I mean, shoot. Yeah. Can you be counted as a failure if what wiped you out technically wasn't your fault? Well, I don't know. Usually, in that sense, we would be the only failures, Viper, because chances are whatever ends up wiping out humans will be our own fault when it happens. Whether it's climate change or nuclear war or whatever. We would be like the first failures. So yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. Yeah. And Dr. Javasaurus says, but can dinosaurs do this? Plays video game? I bet you they can, Dr. Javasaurus. Let's see. Yeah. Well, I don't know about video games, but... Birds today can certainly play games. I don't know about video games. Oh, nope. I take it back. They can. There you go. Dinosaurs can play video games. There you have it. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's lovely. And thank you, Nader Fiend. T-Rex was as fast as it needed to be. We'll talk about that in a minute, Nader Fiend. Yeah, yeah. Good stuff. Yeah. Oh, bullseye. Very nice. That needs to be an alert. Holy cow. A lot of these need to be alerts, maybe. Very nice. Yeah. Good stuff. And look at that bird carrying something with its foot. Nice. Yeah. Anyway, birds themselves are modern dinosaurs, having evolved from theropod dinosaurs during the Mesozoic era. Very nice. Yeah. Yeah. Oh. Thank you, Viper Nat, for the follow. Welcome, welcome. Yeah. Good stuff. Good stuff. Anyway. What birds? Me too, Lenina. Me too. Yeah. But yeah. Yeah. And, oh, and now I do have some recommendations for you. Give me a minute, and I gotta answer Naderfiend's question first. And Vipernats. Vipernat says, if you had to go to one of the islands in Jurassic Park, which one are you going to? Oh, you better believe I'd be going to Site B.
Try blaming the dinosaurs.
You know?
Hydrate. Earlier, but I don't think there's an alert associated with it. So, hydrate.
Thank you, Deepest Blue Dragon. There. There you go. But yeah, I'm going to the island that's got more dinosaur species on it, you know? More dinosaur taxa. That's Site B. So there you go. Yeah. And Naderfiend, how fast was Tyrannosaurus? There have been many, many different papers written on this, but I think the one thing that always gets sidelined.
Dinosaurs are put together correctly, the bones. You're smart. What do you think?
Do a research on that, Oliver.
I'd never.
Yeah, the one thing that always gets, you know, nobody really remembers to think about when talking about, you know, the running speed of Tyrannosaurus is, of course, yes, ontogeny. Thank you, whoever typed that. Golganek, thank you, thank you. Yeah. Ontogeny, critically important to consider. So, Tyrannosaurus, when full grown, is a big, hulking animal, probably not particularly fast. But it didn't start off that way, you know? These animals start off hatching from an egg that's about this big. Something like that. Small egg. They've got a lot of growing to do to reach that full adult size where they're like 13 plus meters long. Over 40 feet long, you know? Weighing something on the order of like 5 or 6 tons. But they start off fairly small and very leggy. Look at those long, very athletic legs like that. Look at a subadult or, you know, older juvenile Tyrannosaurus right there. Also very, very leggy. These animals probably would have been very, very fast runners when they were young. And they're probably occupying a different ecological niche than their parents, you know? Tyrannosaurus, like a lot of dinosaurs, is probably moving up through different ecological niches as it's growing and maturing. The juveniles are probably like pursuit predators when they're young. You know, they would have been very fast. I don't know if they'd be as fast as an ostrich or something like that, but look at those legs and tell me that's not a fast animal. You know? So yeah. Anytime we talk about how fast was T-Rex, we have to consider ontogeny, the changes that these animals undergo as they are growing and maturing. You know, here's Triceratops.
Extinction didn't occur. Successful group would dominate and it would last forever.
And Rothgar. Let's see, Rothgar did it. I think it hatched a while ago, Rothgar. You've got like a juvenile Triceratops there, or like a subadult. Anyway, speaking of ontogeny, dinosaurs changed a lot as they grew and matured, to the point where we used to think that some of these different growth stages were actually different species or different genera entirely.
Ontogeny.
Turns out, no, dinosaurs just change a lot through ontogeny, and Tyrannosaurus is no exception.
Ontogeny.
So, yeah. So, young T-Rex probably would have been real fast. Adult Tyrannosaurus, probably not as fast. You know? Very bulky. The bigger they get. They probably transition from being pursuit predators into being, like, big, hulking ambush predators, ambushing much larger prey. And probably doing a lot of scavenging, too. Shoot, if you've got a big adult T-Rex like this, and she smells a fresh kill from a younger T-Rex, you better believe she's going to come walking over. She is going to kick him off the kill, and she's going to eat that for herself, you know? So, yeah. That's why I kind of suspect these animals may have been living in different environments, like Tyrannosaurus at different growth stages may have been living in different environments just to avoid competition with members of their own species at different growth stages. And ontogenetic niche partitioning. Ontogenetic niche partitioning, Golganek. Yeah. So yeah. What's the time frame till adulthood for these? Great question. Mill35. Welcome. Great to have you here. For a young T-Rex like this, like I have here in my office, you know, this critter would probably be like a couple of years old, you know? probably, I don't know, maybe like 2 years old. A full adult T-Rex, like you see here, would be maybe up, I think the oldest Tyrannosaurus we have is like 28 or something like that. I think Sue might be 28 years old. I forget. Well, we might have to look that up. But anyway, it takes a couple of decades for them to get fully grown, you know? Which is still a lot faster than like an elephant grows, I suppose. Especially early on, these dinosaurs were growing really fast. Really, really fast. So like these two might only be a couple of years apart, if that. Like this one right here, you know, they hatched out of an egg that's only like this big. And then they're already 6 feet long by the time they're probably like a year or two old. They're growing really fast.
Gigantic dinosaurs attacking our boy! A dinosaur?
A dinosaur? Thank you, Mil35. Appreciate that follow. Is it Milas? Thank you, Milas, for the follow. Welcome to Paleontologizing. Yeah. So yeah. And I know you are great, Golganek. Thank you. Yeah. So anyway, you really don't understand dinosaurs until you understand their ontogeny, and this is something that I and my colleagues have been harping on for a long time. Yeah. We're still trying to get some other dinosaur paleontologists to kind of come on board with this idea, but it's a big deal. You know, ontogeny is really important. Ontogeny changes everything, as we say. So yeah. And Wagyu says, biologically, how did the xenomorph from Alien? Xenomorph. Is that the alien from the film Alien? It grew that large that fast via the magic of Hollywood nonsense. Wagyu, yeah. Oh boy. Great movie. But yeah, nothing actually grows that fast. It just doesn't make any sense. It's not consuming anything. How would it ever grow that fast? Unless it's incredibly dense. If it's made of like mercury or tungsten, and then it just kind of goes. It doesn't make any sense. Yeah. Anywho, dinosaurs did grow really fast though, but they didn't grow that fast. So yeah, anywho. Yeah. Good stuff. So yeah, anywho. I've seen the film Alien. I don't remember the term xenomorph. I've also seen Aliens. The Ridley Scott one. Or no, I've seen the Ridley Scott one, the first one, Alien, and the James Cameron one, Aliens. I don't remember that term xenomorph ever appearing. That sounds like a fan term, like something that the fan base came up with. That does not sound like something that's actually from those movies. You know? Yeah. Mila says probably, yeah. Okay. I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, speaking of cool stuff and strange forms, anybody who's, you know, a biologist, they hear that term xenomorph, whatever you want to, however you want to pronounce it, and they go, oh yeah, I recognize those root words. That means strange form. Xenomorph. Here's this for a strange form. This is the skull of Stegosaurus, this lovely pachycephalosaur dinosaur. Eye socket, Neris, that's the nose right there. The teeth, lower jaw. Look at this big dome on top of the head up here. Very cool. This is what I'm currently a 3D printing. And look, you can actually see the eye socket there. See that big circle? Or oval? Weird shaped oval? That's the eye socket right there. So the snout is going up in this, because we already have the dome printed from yesterday, and so that should go basically like There we go. Like that at the bottom, and then you've got the snout sticking up from there. Does that make sense? Yeah, Stegosaurus. Very cool animal. So yeah. Yeah. And Mikey Like says, in Aliens, the lieutenant refers to the aliens as xenomorph in a pre-mission briefing. See, to me, as somebody, you know, in the biological sciences, xenomorph just means strange form. It could mean, like, anything strange, that unknown. You know, xenomorph, strange form. Yeah. I don't know how that became synonymous with the aliens from Alien. Xenomorph just means strange form, you know? Yeah. Well, anyway, thank you, Mikey Legs. And, it could have some sort of alien yolk to sustain it. I suppose it could, Bet Medler. It's an interesting idea. Maybe it took something from that poor guy whose chest it burst out of, you know? I don't know. Yeah. They certainly do have strange forms. Thank you, Wagyu. Yes, you're correct. Yeah. Was first used by the character Lieutenant Gorman. Yeah, he's the guy who nobody likes until he gets blowed up. Spoiler alert. Yeah. Yeah, anyway. That's funny. I think... Am I remembering this correctly? I think I watched that movie with an ex-girlfriend of mine. And she was a lieutenant in the US Army. And she was pointing out all these different places where, like, she's like, yeah, that's not good leadership right there. An officer should not do this, should not do that. An officer should show a degree of solidarity, you know, with their, you know, enlisted at, you know, at this point and that point, that kind of thing. She was also like a trained psychologist. She was getting her PsyD. I think she was just on the verge of graduating when I was dating her. So yeah, that was interesting. Yeah. Yeah. It's like, oh, I hate Gorman. Like, I don't remember actually watching the movie with her. I think we were just talking about it. Anyway, yeah. But yeah, yeah. So yeah. And becomes good in the end. I remember that Wagyu. Yeah, yeah. And what a great movie. Alien and Aliens are like, I know one is the sequel to the other. They're like different genres of film, though. They're so different from one another. Alien is like a masterclass in like a claustrophobic, you know, like psychological horror film. And Aliens is like a rip-roaring action-adventure movie. You know, they're like, but yet they work together, though. I don't know. Yeah. Good stuff. And Fluffy Afro, how are you doing? Welcome to Paleontologizing. It's good to have you here. So, yeah. Yeah. Anyway. And Mikey Like says, yeah, Alien is a horror suspense, and Aliens is a combat action adventure. Bingo. Yeah. Good stuff. I've never seen any of the sequels. I've been told they're not worth watching. So yeah. Yeah. And agreed, Lenina. It is good. Like, yeah. Yeah, good stuff. Anywho. You know what I think it might be time for? For laughing at war movies, A Man Called Sarge. I've never heard that. I've never heard of that, Kodali. Maybe I should check that out. It's not time for dinner, Captain Paul. We're gonna see if we can actually finish out that film. Documentary, whatever. That we were watching yesterday and a few days before. Yeah. I would like to introduce you, those of you who were not here for this earlier. There we go. I'd like to introduce you to this National Geographic documentary. This holds a special place in my heart. It looks cheesy right here. Dinosaur hunters. But, I used to watch this in the field with my crew. Denver Fowler, my old crew chief, whom some of you saw in that, that YouTube video from earlier at the Badlands Dinosaur Museum. He had this on his laptop hard drive when we were digging in the Hell Creek. And on rain days, when it was just pouring down with rain and we couldn't go out and dig, we would do a bunch of chores around camp. We would log data. We would do this. We would do that. And then it, you know, right around 2 or 3 p.m., it's like, okay, we've done enough work. Let's just sit down and relax. And he's like, I've got a documentary that I think you might enjoy. This chronicles the triumphs and tribulations of a crew of dinosaur paleontologists out in the Gobi Desert of Mongolia in the 1990s. Mark Norell, whom you see here, Michael Novacek. Anyway, it's good stuff. So it's always a lot of fun to watch this and kind of see how another crew does things. And yeah, we'll rewind just a little bit to catch you up. But here we go. Continue.
Moving toward a tragic destiny.
This was an oasis 80 million years ago.
Good stuff. Yeah.
There are huge numbers of dinosaurs and other vertebrates congregating around maybe some water.
This is from the 90s, so excuse the kind of hokey CGI, but it was good for its time, you know? Yeah.
And on occasion...
Bette Medler says, I bet a bunch of paleontologists would provide interesting commentary while watching this. Absolutely we did, Bette Medler. Yes. Yes. And that's what I'm trying to do here too, you know? Yeah.
One event, but on several occasions, these animals were buried in these sands. We'd have to imagine an enormous sandstorm or an enormous force bearing down on these creatures for such a disaster. Some of the dinosaurs almost look like they're trying to swim to the surface, much like a skier in an avalanche. Caught in some cases in their struggle to get out of this sand avalanche or great wall of sand that engulfed them. Perhaps they suffocated in the sand.
I do think a lot of them did suffocate in the sand. I can't exactly tell you why, because some of this stuff is still as yet unpublished, but holy cow, if I understand correctly, a site that I worked in the Hell Creek a number of years ago is going to see publication pretty soon, and it actually is going to have some interesting insights into this. Where did that go? Here, let me see if I can... Let me take a look at this, because maybe Denver's on the verge of publishing this. Yeah... Here we go. I've not actually looked at this yet, but let's take a look right now. A short news piece on our 3D scanning and printing and how this is assisting in exhibits, research, and education. 3D crossed a threshold the past year or so. It's no longer as expensive as you think. Lots to come from this. And anybody know who this taxon is right here? Holy cow. Look at that big honking skull. Ah, yeah. 3D printing provides new ways for Dickinson researchers, public to interact with dinosaur fossils. And they've got a video here. Let's take a look.
Dinosaur fossils are a fan favorite among museum goers and researchers. Now some are getting more hands-on with the specimen. Erica Craven spoke with Dickinson researchers to learn how 3D printing is transforming the ways people interact with history.
Very cool.
Paleontologists at the Badlands Dinosaur
There's the prep lab
Museum in
there.
Dickinson gently excavate fossils from surrounding materials.
We prepped them, that's what it's called.
Specimen is fully cleaned. They're not simply put up for display.
Lasers to
Some are scanned.
I can move this around as I look at the fossil.
The data is then uploaded into specialized software.
I would continue to do this essentially until I had filled in all of these little pieces here.
And printed on one of the 2 donated printers as a 3-dimensional object.
Very cool.
Thing is for research and exhibit.
That's Denver.
Researchers are able to easily create accurate models.
This is life size.
From rare specimens.
It's a Nimravid right there.
The information can be quickly shared with other museums, and lightweight models.
Denver's
can
going
be
so
transferred
gray, my goodness.
to the community.
The kids loved it. They had so much fun kind of climbing around and touching the specimens and stuff. So the education aspect to this is really important for kids to be able to have hands-on materials.
This is actually a very important specimen.
The models can fill in the cracks
This section here, this was the cliff edge.
left by history.
Whoa, hang on. Is that who I think it is? Is this my Triceratops right here? Holy cow, is that Count Tricula?
Section.
I think it is. Holy moly. I think this is a Triceratops that I discovered. I think this is Count Tricula right here. We had a beautiful frill of a Triceratops that I found back in 2015. Count Tricula was the site name. Blah. We found a lot of Triceratops over the years. I kind of ran out of good site names for Triceratops, but I call this one Count Tricula. Trike is kind of our nickname for Triceratops in the field. I think this might be it. It's finally prepped. That's beautiful.
Here, this was the cliff edge.
Left by history.
Yeah.
We also have fossils of our own, like a Tyrannosaur that we described recently, where we don't have all the bones of the skull. So we're scanning the ones that we've got, mirroring them to the other side, and basically building a complete skull using the 3D printer.
I'll tell you another.
Oh. And Murderous Squirrel. Or 18 months ago. Murderous Squirrel, thank you so much for the 18 months of support. I appreciate that more than you know. Thank you, and welcome back to Paleontologizing, Murderous Squirrel. Thanks for keeping me here on the internet for 18 whole months. It's a long time.
The printed pieces aren't all going on display.
I feel like no one wants to go to a museum that is just 3D printed fossils. So I like to use models that augment either a story that we're telling, either something...
Where did they get this? Holy moly. I know who this is, and but is it okay to... Well, this is Leptoceratops right here. It's a lepto. There you go, Dr. Terra. Yes, indeed. Leptoceratops. Beautiful animal here. Where did Denver get a 3D model? Oh, this makes me so happy. Hopefully this is going to be published soon. Oh, yeah, excellent. If he's getting ready to put this up on display, that probably means that the publication is nearing a point. Well, shoot, maybe he even has it submitted already. That's really exciting. This is... Oh, man, I cannot wait to tell you about this. Really, really cool implications for dinosaur paleobiology and for the lifestyles of different dinosaurs. Really, really cool. Oh, man. Yes.
So rare that you can't see it unless you go to one museum in the world.
Beautiful lepto.
Where they fill in a missing part of a skeleton.
But some printed pieces will be available for purchase to take home.
Yeah.
Erica Craven reporting.
So these are the those Displetosaurus models, which I think, shoot, when did Denver post this? Just a few days ago. Presumably he still has some of those left. Yeah. Very cool. I think if we scroll down far enough, we can probably get to... because he still has these for sale. The fleshed out models of Daspletosaurus wilsoni. I think it's somewhere here. There we go, yeah. This is a resin 3D print of the model made by Andre Atuchin. We'll be selling these as a fundraiser for future paleo projects. Some more photos. Very, very cool. Yeah. Good stuff. Good stuff indeed. Here, if you want a link to this series of tweets, then there you go. Oop. Hang on. Copy link. Paste. And enter. There you go. Yeah. Cool stuff. Very, very cool stuff. Yeah. But anyway. Yeah.
For your news leader.
Those at the Badlands Dinosaur Museum say they hope to eventually...
And thank you, Zaber Live, for the follow. Welcome to Paleontologizing. How you doing? It's good to have you here. Yeah.
All going on display.
I feel like no one wants to go to a museum that is just 3D printed fossils.
Yep.
So I like to use models that augment either a story that we're telling, either something so rare that you can't see it unless you go to one museum in the world, or where they fill in a missing part of a skeleton.
But some printed pieces will be available for purchase to take home.
Very cool.
Erica Craven reporting.
Really, really neat. Yeah.
Those at the Badlands Dinosaur Museum say they hope to eventually scan and print a life-size replica of Bill, the Triceratops skull, to conduct research. They say they'd like to create a digital library.
Cool stuff. Very, very cool. This is a museum that I've worked at before, back in 2017. Denver Fowler is my fieldwork mentor. Dinosaurs are kind of funny. Cross Hayes, how are you doing? Welcome to Paleontologizing. Good to have you here. I do a lot of 3D printing myself, as you can see here. I've got a life-size baby Triceratops 3D print that we'll be putting up here very soon. But yeah, very cool. Zaber Live says, this is sick. I love dinosaurs. Welcome, Zaber Live. Sounds like you're in the right place. Welcome to Paleontologizing. And Crosshays says, that beard is powerful and your voice is so crisp. That is in large part due to this lovely microphone that I have right here. The beard, I don't know. I'd say thank you, but it feels kind of silly because, like, I don't know. It just grows, you know? I don't have to do anything except eat food, and it grows. So yeah. Welcome, Crosshays. Welcome, Zaber Live. Let me know if you've got any questions, okay? For anybody who might be new here, anybody who stumbled in over the past hour or so, welcome. My name is Danny Anduza. I'm a dinosaur paleontologist. So a paleontologist, as you probably know already, is a scientist who studies fossils. I work on dinosaurs in particular, hence dinosaur paleontologist. And I'm here on Twitch trying to do some good old-fashioned science outreach. So if you've got questions about dinosaurs, about the fossil record, about extinction, evolution, the history of life on our incredible planet Earth, don't be shy with those questions. I'm here to answer them for you. You know? So don't be shy. Yeah. And Crosshays says, how did you get into paleontology? Great question. I have always been interested in dinosaurs in particular since I was a very small child. Yeah. I don't know. The people who knew me back then say that they like to joke that I realized I wanted to become a paleontologist the same day that I realized I could not grow up to be a dinosaur, you know? Because originally I wanted to be a dinosaur when I grew up, but that wasn't really going to pan out. So paleontologist is the next best thing. So I was pretty young, and I've always been intensely interested in dinosaurs, and I have been extremely fortunate in being able to pursue that as a career. So here we are. If we get a big raid, I'll play another welcome video to kind of, you know, we've got these welcome videos that kind of explain my background and why a paleontologist is on Twitch here in the first place and all that good stuff. So, yeah. But anyway. Yeah. So, yeah. If you can't teach. Don't say that, Tommy Platicus. Because, you know, I do both. I do and I teach. Yeah. You know, those who can't teach because they lack the incredible skill and dedication needed to be a teacher, they end up, you know, they go do things, you know? Teaching. That. It's one thing to do stuff, but to be able to teach people how to do that, it's an entirely different skill set. So, yeah. And Nell, I do like chocolate. Why did you capitalize chocolate, though? Is this a trap? What's going on, Nell? Yeah. And I did not grow up to be a dinosaur. Unfortunately, I was born about 240 million years too late to be a dinosaur, Rothgar. Or wait, no, hang on. Maybe even further. If you go back to where my lineage, like your lineage, the mammal lineage, split off from reptiles, which would eventually become dinosaurs. Yeah. What is that, 340 million years? Something like that? Anyway, too late. But, you know, I like being me. I like me. It's good being me. I can't complain about that. So, yeah. Yeah. Anywho. So close, says Nafron, yeah. Very German capitalization. Oh, no worries, Nell. No worries, Nell. Yeah, I do like chocolate, Nell. Definitely. Yeah. Hey, let's check on our Stegosaurus skull that's currently 3D printing. Very nice. You can see that eye socket there. You can see the beginnings of the dome. Looking pretty sharp. Here, let me grab some. Hang on.
And if dinosaurs had not died, I imagine the mammals would still be small creatures like this living in the nooks and crannies of their world, and we wouldn't be here.
There we go. Yeah, we're looking good. We're looking good. And thank you, Wagyu, for the follow. Really appreciate that. Welcome to Paleontologizing. Let's get back to our documentary here that we've been trying to finish. I'm not even halfway through this. But here's a group of paleontologists out in the Gobi Desert of Mongolia digging up dinosaurs, and I used to watch this documentary with my field crew. Denver Fowler, the guy you just saw from the Badlands Dinosaur Museum, he had this on his laptop hard drive years ago, and we used to watch this on rain days in the field.
Hey, I just swept there. Now you've made it all dirty again. Take pride in my work. So next year we'll bring some dust busters.
The prehistoric sandstorm buried dinosaurs at every stage of life.
Ontogeny.
And on their first expedition here, Mark and Mike made an unprecedented discovery. A nest with eggs. And inside one was an embryo. The embryo of an oviraptor. Like a dinosaur on the half shell.
Huh. Whatever that means. Oviraptor.
Here was the vicious carnivore, the egg thief.
Oviraptor's probably an omnivore, or maybe even an herbivore. Probably not a vicious carnivore. But yeah. The egg. There you go, Golganek, yes.
Discovery, a secret moment in the very beginning of this strange dinosaur's life. This year, they're hoping to find out more about the Oviraptor and its fate.
Little egg. Yeah, it's got 2 of those now. Yeah. There's a quarry right there.
Excitement on the far side of the ridge. They found a completely new kind of dinosaur.
Oh, this is probably the
Oviraptor.
Ornithischian, right?
Shed light on what ultimately happened to the dinosaurs.
Yeah.
We have no idea what this is.
So, again, to me, these look like the ossified tendons of an ornithischian dinosaur right here. Given that its likelihood is low that it's a hadrosaur, it's not going to be an iguanodontian. It's probably not a ceratopsian, given that this is Mongolia during the time. It's not a protoceratops. This is probably going to be an ankylosaur. Just wild guess, ankylosaur. Yeah.
This specimen has.
And Ash Girl, we definitely do. GPS is incredibly valuable in the field. We GPS log all of our sites. Yes, absolutely, Ash Girl.
Important implications that go beyond just being a really beautiful object. So.
Oh, and Allie J, I'm sorry you got some unexpected sad news. Allie J, whatever it is, you have my condolences, and yeah, you take care of yourself, Allie J. Appreciate you. Don't. Yeah, you take care of yourself. Here, let's continue.
It's exactly what we wanted to find. We hope.
The skeleton is what's important. Mark and Mike believe that these bones may help prove an exciting theory. That some dinosaurs actually evolved. They evolved into creatures.
All dinosaurs, living things evolve. That's, if you're a living thing, if you're a lineage of living things, that means you're evolving, you know? You know, children are different from their parents. That's evolution in action. Change across generations, you know? That's evolution. All critters are evolving. But what they mean here is that dinosaurs may have evolved into birds, which one lineage did.
That some dinosaurs actually evolved. They evolved into creatures that are still alive today.
Yeah.
The bones tell the story. There are uncanny similarities in the skeletons of certain dinosaurs.
Yep.
Like these. And modern birds.
Yep.
Almost
and now we often dig with knives. Yeah.
And each new find may help prove that dinosaurs did not really go extinct.
Yep.
That birds, in fact, are dinosaurs.
Ooh, there's a nice soundbite there. I might have to grab that for a future alert or something like that. But yeah, this was kind of maybe half of paleontologists kind of bought into this idea back when this documentary came out in 1996 or whatever. But holy cow. Today, you ask any paleontologist, you ask any evolutionary biologist, you ask any ornithologist, a bird scientist, they'll tell you, yeah, birds are living dinosaurs. Birds evolved from dinosaur ancestors. Birds themselves are dinosaurs. It's no longer controversial at all. Yeah. There you go, Fedorasaur and Winja, I guess. Yeah.
Dinosaurs need to be thought of as incredibly successful animals that exist with us today.
There you go.
Call them birds.
Yep.
Our
Heck
skies
yes.
are filled with dinosaurs.
it's a bad metaphor to use to call something like dinosaur-like, you know, just because it's old, obsolete, ugly, stupid, and slow. I mean, that's not what these animals are all about. I mean, it's like the swifts flying around here and things. I mean, they're a type of dinosaur.
What did I just tell you, chat? Just a little while ago, we had a new viewer ask, "What, Danny? What is your most, what is the misconception about dinosaurs that aggravates you most?" And for me, I said it's the notion that dinosaurs were failures. Here is Mark Norell, basically saying the same thing.
It's a bad metaphor to use to call something like dinosaur-like, you know, just because it's old, obsolete, ugly, stupid, and slow. I mean, that's not what these animals are all about. I mean, it's like the swifts flying around here and things. I mean, a type of dinosaur. And that they're still with us now.
Yeah.
And the closest relative to birds is these small carnivorous dinosaurs we've collected in these red rocks.
And how controversial is ontogeny? I mean, it depends what you mean by that, Rothgar. The idea, there are certain ontogenetic series for dinosaurs that are still kind of controversial, like the idea that Torosaurus is just a full-grown Triceratops. There's a lot of controversy about that.
Ontogeny.
Which, honestly, if certain people would just publish those fenestrated Triceratops, and publish these ideas about heterochrony, we could solve that. Oh my goodness, the controversy would be over. But anyway, yeah, there's still some controversy about certain aspects of dinosaur ontogeny, Rothgar, and we're still working on that. Yeah. So anyway, yeah. That's how you get that oil? What do you mean oil? Oil is not made from dinosaurs, Milas. You may have been misled. But yeah. Who's out here no, not defenestrating Triceratops. Pointing out the fenestration in Triceratops. So yeah. Anyway, let's continue. Yeah.
At day's end, hopes are high that this new find will help connect the dots between dinosaurs and birds.
Camp life. This reminds me of some of my life, some of my experiences in the field. I probably have photos, actually, from last field season. Let's see if I can pull those up. Let's see here. We'll go back to August 2022, perhaps. Sitting around in the field. I did some live streams. Here's with me with some members of my crew this past summer. Yeah. On Google Photos. What's up with you? Here's me. Here's some chimichangas that I made. Or not chimichangas, quesadillas that I made. Yeah. There's Bilal. There's Utah State paleontologist Jim Kirkland right there. Eating quesadillas in the field. Back in camp. I'm trying to show you photos of camp life. There is the heart of camp, the water jugs. Yeah. And there's Jim walking around over there by the USGS truck. Or by the UGS truck, Utah Geological Survey, sorry. Yeah. Here's me and part of my crew in front of the San Rafael swell. Bilal, Ethan, Jim, Nick, and Fisher. Yeah. And then, I don't know who this dingus is. You can ignore him, you know? But, yeah. But I'm trying to find you more pictures of camp. And and what camp looked like. Yeah. Well, shoot, here's what my part of camp looked like. There we go. There's, my vehicle and my tent right there. Wait, did you... Hang on. Anyway, which... I'm sure I've got more photos. Goodness. Yeah, sometimes Google Photos does not cooperate in the way that it should. It's pretty frustrating. Anyway, there's camp right there. Here is our camp this past August. There's Bilal and Ethan. There's Dawn right there. There's a bunch of the jackets that we excavated. There's fossils preserved within these plaster cocoons for bringing back to the laboratory. This is what our camp looked like. You'll be seeing a lot more of this kind of thing, hopefully, next summer. Yeah. Good stuff. And Anne-Marie K. Author, how are you doing, Anne-Marie? Welcome, welcome. My stream's going pretty well. Better now that you're here, Anne-Marie. How are you doing? Welcome back. Yeah. And cooking quesadilla stream when? Nell, you might have to wait till the summer for that. We'll have to see. Although... Lordy and Ios are gonna be having some work done on their house at some point. They're gonna have to have their like HVAC system replaced and all the asbestos taken out. So them and their cats are gonna have to... Well, I invited them to come stay with me for a few days while that's taking place. Hopefully it's not for too long. We'll see. Hopefully it'll just be a few days. But, yeah. While Lordy is staying here, I suggested maybe we do a cooking stream here in my kitchen. And I cook some field foods. And maybe Lordy, who is herself trained as a professional chef and a professional baker, she's gone through culinary school, maybe she can give me some pointers on how to cook various field foods. The foods that I would normally cook when I'm out in the field with other paleontologists. You know, over a little propane stove out in the middle of nowhere with very limited ingredients. Maybe she can give me some pointers on how to improve my field cooking. And we'll do a special field cooking stream or something like that. We'll have to see about that. It's a possibility, not a guarantee. But let me know if you're enthusiastic about that idea, because that would be cool. And you would love that? We'll talk... We did talk a little bit, Lordy, but yeah. We'll have to see. There's a lot of things that... We'll see, chat. We'll see. Yeah. And Lordy, how are you doing? Welcome, welcome. Good to have you here. Oh, yeah. Anyway. It's really cool seeing another paleontological crew doing their thing out in the field.
Is these small dinosaurs we've collected in these red rocks.
At day's end, hopes are high that this new find will help connect the dots between dinosaurs and birds.
Yep.
The feeling of anticipation is palpable, if not always exactly in key.
You know, I had my ukulele last summer in the field, and I don't think I brought that thing out once the whole summer for the rest of the crew. That might have to happen this next year. We'll see, especially if we're doing some live streaming from camp. But yeah.
First thing in the morning, they're back at the site.
So we hope we got something.
And can we say that I don't know what you mean, Golganek. Oh, yeah, never trust anybody over 40. Or over 30. There you go, Golganek. Yeah. Yeah, that's an interesting I like where you're going with that, Golganek. Yeah.
Identify eventually.
Yeah.
Kill that beetle while you're at it. Here we go, Mark.
As they pry the rock open, they sense trouble.
Oh. Oh, that's a bad break. Oh, you don't want to see that. You do not want to see that.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is.
We're a bunch of scutes, maybe. I'm afraid to say.
It's an ankylosaur.
Be a theropod with arms?
No.
Well, there could be, but there's...
That's an ankylosaur.
I think what we're looking at is that there's a dead theropod right there that's gone, and we're excavating an ankylosaur.
It's an ankylosaur.
Ankylosaurs are among the most common dinosaurs around.
Yeah.
It's not a new dinosaur at all. It's not even related to birds.
Yep.
I'll show you.
I'm sure this is an ankylosaur.
Is that Louis Cihoyos right there? That might be Louis Cihoyos. The photographer and author of the book Hunting Dinosaurs. I think that might be Louis Cihoyos right there. Yeah. Oh, good. This book is literally falling apart. I need to how did I not get myself another copy of this? I did get myself another copy of this. It's right here. Here it is. Hunting Dinosaurs by Louis Cihoyos. And I don't know if we actually have a photo of the author, but he's probably on this crew. He did a lot of globetrotting during the 1990s. Doing really cool photography. Oh, there he is there. Yeah. There he is on the back cover. Yeah. Louis Cihoyos, who I think is right here. And is that the skull of Othniel Charles Marsh right there? I think it is. Holy cow. Yeah, we could do a whole week's worth of streams just on this book. But, yeah. Anyway. Yeah. I actually need to read through this whole thing. I actually stopped reading this book because it started falling apart. Now that I have a copy that's no longer falling apart, I can do that. And the copy that has fallen apart, well, shoot, now I've got a whole bunch of pages that I could maybe put into frames if I want to get more artwork for my apartment, which I've been looking at my apartment, cleaning some stuff out recently, and it is awfully sparse. It'd be really nice to have some more framed artwork. So I'll see about maybe turning some of these pages into framed prints. But yeah. Anyway, good stuff. Good stuff. There's an idea, says Milas. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway. And Nell, you know, I'm a grown man. Give them Nell. I can buy 2 copies if I so please. This one started falling apart, so now I have 2, you know? Yeah. Anyway. We're going to continue with this. We're now just over halfway through. We're going to continue with that on another day. I think it's about time for us to wrap up this stream, everybody. Don't you go running away just yet. We're going to go right in to somebody else doing some science outreach here on Twitch. So yeah, stick around. We're going to go ahead and wrap this one up. There's a Deinonychus skull.
During a Jurassic Park. Digging up dinosaurs is hard, frustrating work.
And,
or years.
Burnin' Heaven, how are you doing? Welcome to Paleontologizing. Good to have you here. Thank you for that follow. And thank you to everybody whose names are showing up here in the credits. In fact, let's refresh that real quick. Oh, there you are in the followers. Good. Okay. Oh, I didn't have to refresh, but there you are. Thank you, Vernon. Appreciate you. Yeah. Let's see who else is live on Twitch right now, and we can go ahead and raid in. Somebody else doing some science, perhaps? Let us see. California Burbs, Hannah Rebecca Music. You know, it's been a while since we've raided in to Melissa in Denial, so we will go see what she is up to. Melissa in Denial, she's not a paleontologist, she is an Egyptologist. She's an archaeologist who studies ancient Egypt. And we will go say hello to her. Yeah. And Mary is going to get some dinosaurs. Mary's Milk Monsters, Mary of the Goats is going to get some birds soon, Mayorspace? Is that true? We'll have to go say hello to her then. Anyway, thank you, everybody, for all of your support during this stream. Thank you for your attention, for your questions, for your enthusiasm. I really appreciate all of you very, very much. Thank you for everything. From the quietest of lurkers, the most vociferous of chatters and question askers, to you moderators, thank you, everybody, for everything. I hope to see you again tomorrow. We're going to be talking about Gertie the dinosaur and the history of dinosaurs in animation tomorrow. So don't miss it. But right now, we're going to go see Melissa in Denial. I'll see you there, everybody. Take care.
Like, I think we do. I think we're pretty sure, but we don't have a lot of evidence. Oh my gosh.